Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 test test test. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 test test test. 1 2 3 1 2 3 test 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 1 2 3.
My friends.
Up on
The
FM
following is an
98.1.
Ingo Media Sports presentation. North Platte Community College Night Athletics on FM 98.1 and AM 1410 are brought to you by Another Round Sports Bar and Grill at River's Edge Golf Course. Premier Toyota, let's go places. Kroll Clinic Physical Therapy and Athletic Enhancement. Smokin' Double D's at Butch's in Hershey, The Gathering Spot, and the Justin Thompson Agency, American Family Insurance. Today's game also brought to you in part by the D&N Event Center, Mid-Plains Community College, Runza, Great Plains Foot and Ankle, Farm Bureau Financial, Larry's Glass, Dave's Place, EuroClean, Bill Summers Ford Honda Lincoln Nissan, Great Plains Health, Great Plains Health Sports and Therapy, Great Plains Health Home Care Equipment, and Shelter Insurance, Pete Falls and Brent Rogo. Watch today's game live at NorthPlattePost.com. Brought to you by WB's Fun Center and Brigos. Here's the voice of the Knights, Paxton Gordon.
Everybody, welcome to Bill Wood Field on FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com, as the Dogs taking on Malcolm and the Clippers here in game number 2 of the day for either team. The Clippers coming away with a 18-3 victory over Norfolk and the Panthers just a few minutes ago, while North Platte High School about 2 hours ago fell to Norfolk in 7 full innings, 13-11. Dogs now on the season are 3-5 compared to Malcolm, who is 9-1. Malcolm, a team that once again, like they are almost every season, in contention for a state championship. And between these two teams last year, when they faced off in Malcolm, North Platte put up a pretty good effort until the latter innings when Malcolm and the Clippers pulled away from North Platte High School before you know it. And today, the Dogs looking to bounce back after a tough matchup in game number 1 against Norfolk, where they were down pretty early on in that ball game after giving up 4 runs in the top of the second inning. They were at one point down 5-1, then bounced back in the next couple of innings to get up to a 10-5 lead over Norfolk and the Panthers before, unfortunately, in the top of the 7th inning, it all came unraveled for North Platte High School. A couple of big crucial errors on their end of the defensive side gave up 8 runs. Yep, 8 total runs to that Norfolk Panther squad, and they fell in that game to the Panthers 13-11. Try to make a late charge in the closing, the week closing pitches, but unfortunately the lead was just too much to overcome. And with that, North Platte High School now falls to 3-5 on the season. They're looking to see if maybe they can bounce back in this game and at least come away with one victory in these 2 games before they travel to Grand Island on Monday for some more baseball against the Islanders. We'll have to see, of course, when we get you rocking and rolling. Quick Stop pregame show, 27 locations, open 24 hours a day. Quick Stop, always open right around the corner. Can North Platte High School come away with the victory today versus Malcolm? Well, you're just going to have to find out when we get you all set up for that ball game. We come back here to Billwood Field on FM 98.1, AM 1410, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream. Had, of course, NorthPlattePost.com.
Get ready for the ultimate fun day out. Start at Brigham's Tap Room with a brand new menu you won't want to miss. Catch all of the action on game day with your favorite teams on our big screens. Hear the excitement with amazing drinks, and you've got the ultimate game day experience at Brigham's Tap Room. And when you're ready for more fun, over to Wild Bulls Fun Center. To our action-packed arcade, down pins in our bowling alley, and gear up for an epic laser tag battle. There's something for everyone at Wild Bill's, where the fun never stops.
Runza's Barbecue Bacon Swiss Burger is for barbecue lovers.
I respect barbecue.
That's great, Carl.
No, you don't understand. The balance of sweet and smoky barbecue sauce, the crispiness of the bacon, the way Swiss cheese just melts over everything. It's an art form.
So you approve?
I'm having a moment here.
Try the Barbecue Bacon Swiss Burger at Runza, because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
When making important life decisions about your financial future or insurance needs, it's important to work with people you trust. That's why at Farm Bureau Financial Services, we don't rely on algorithms, bots, or auto-generated answers. We get to know you, so we can help you get the right coverage and make smart financial decisions.
In North Platte, visit Jay Engel at fbfs.com/find-an-agent.
It's your future. Let's protect it. We're always. That's why stop. We're always so.
The DNN Event Center wishes everyone a great sports season. With North Platte and Nebraska weather, things change quickly and can make our lives a little more difficult. Thank goodness for the DNN. The DNN offers hourly rentals for all types of sports practices, including turf, courts, batting cages, and equipment usage. Call the DNN Event Center to schedule your team's practice times and for more league information for all sports seasons. For over 30 years in our community, for your next event, the DNN Event Center.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See me, Pete Foltz, at 501 South Jeffers for a free insurance review.
Looking for midweek fun? River's Edge Golf Club has you covered. Wednesday, test your knowledge at Trivia Night, kicking off at 7 p.m. Gather your team and show off those brainy skills. Thursday, it's Burger Night. Buy one delicious, juicy burger and get the second half off. Now that's a deal worth swinging for. And with the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to hit the greens. Call now to book your tee time. River's Edge Golf Club, where good times and great golf meet.
This is the Full Dawn Pregame Show from FM 98.1 and 1410 AM. Presented by Quick Stop. Always open right around the corner. Quick Stop. Quick Stop. Quick Stop.
Welcome back here, Bill Woodfield. Quick Stop pregame show, 27 locations, open 24 hours a day. Quick Stop, always open right around the corner. North Platte High School taking on Malcolm and the Clippers. Game number 2 of the 2 games here for the Bulldogs. They, of course, fell in game number 1 in a roller coaster fun match to Norfolk and the Panthers, 13-11. And now here against Malcolm and the Clippers, seeing if they can exact revenge and at least come away with one victory in this 2-game stand here at home. They almost beat Malcolm last year, and we all know how good that Malcolm squad is last year. But can they do it again this year? We'll have to see, and it's all going to boil down to what I'm about to say in our Owls Lock and Save keys to the game, securing North Platte and the surrounding areas for over 50 years. It really does start with North Platte High School and the errors. The last game was the real backbone of the issues for them, was the amount of consistent errors that they produced on the defensive side of the ball, and I believe those errors costed them 5 to 6 runs if my math was correct in the grand scheme of things. And if you want to go away with a baseball win, and Coach Holm will talk to you about it as well, that's not how you want to do it. And if they're looking to come away with a win against a super duper strong Malcolm squad that, again, is 9-1 on this season, they're once again on track to potentially be super tough competitors for state championship baseball, then you got to play it clean, clean, clean. Because if you can't keep it clean, and you most certainly are not going to come away with the victory. So look for the Dogs to cut down on the errors, and it's going to be a little tough since you are missing one key contributor to a great defensive infield, and that's Ty Hanneborg, who got ejected in last game at the very literally last inning, top of the 7th, got ejected in the top of the 7th, and he is now not available here in today's game. That was our Quick Stop pregame show. 27 locations, open 24 hours a day. Quick Stop, always open right around the corner. With that, we'll step aside once again, and we'll come back with our starting lineups here on FM 98.1 and AM 1410. Of course, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. Post.
Hands of Heartland has offered support and services for those with developmental disabilities in Nebraska since 1998 and is now bringing those services to the North Platte area. Residential services, respite services, community services, and even day services. Hands of Heartland offers a full array of services from 24-hour supports to just a few hours per week. Learn more today online at handsofheartland.com. That's handsofheartland.com. Hands of Heartland providing creative opportunities to live and grow.
North Platte and beyond, your home just got safer and more comfortable. Great Plains Health Home Care Equipment has what you need, from wheelchairs to lift chairs, mobility scooters, and more. Conveniently located at 220 West Leota Street, Suite 1, right next to Great Plains Urgent Care. Their expert team is ready to help you move with ease. Call 308-568-8510 today and take the first step toward comfort, independence, and a better quality of life.
The Bulldogs play here on FM 98.1 and 1410 AM, KOOQ AM North Platte. Enjoy a great home-cooked breakfast from Merrick's Ranch House, Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dine in, order online at merricksnp.com, use DoorDash, or call 532-8200 for carryout.
Welcome back here to Bill Woodfield, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. It is time for our Double Dip Sliced Creamery starting lineup. Double Dip Sliced Creamery in the historic Canteen District in North Platte offers 24 plus different flavors of hand-dipped ice cream served in a variety of ways. Double Dips also offers homemade waffle cones and bowls alongside homemade fudge and freshly baked desserts. Starting on the side of one, Malcolm and the Clippers here in today's matchup versus North Platte High School. Starting it off for the Clippers, Logan McGreer gets the start in center field. The leadoff batter, Cold Tideman in left field. Mason Wisniewski at third base. Carson Frank on the mound. Garrett England at first base. Rickson Meyer at second. Chase Smith at short. Justin Wisniewski at right field. And then Preston Kushera will be the catcher today for Malcolm. As for North Platte High School, Jackson Peters in left field, Caden Johnson will be in center field, Dean McIntyre behind the plate. Landon Greeno at first, Logan Hayes at short, Tommy Haggard in right field, Cade Songster, the designated hitter, Connor Stifler in third, with Brody Pittner at second base again, filling in for Ty Hanneborg, who, again, got ejected last game in the 7th inning and is not here to start in this game. Is Easton Geisler on the mound for North Platte High School. It's currently a 2-1 count to McGreer, as for the side this season, pitching-wise for Easton Geisler, as that one's going to be lofted into right field. Going back is Tommy Haggard, and that is off of the scoreboard for a leadoff home run for the side, unfortunately, of the Clippers, and they lead off with a home run just as I was pulling up Easton Geisler's statistics, a 2.33 ERA. He's 1-0 in his 2 appearances, and off to a tough start from Geisler. He's pitched 6 total innings, has given up 2 earned runs, 8 walks, 4 strikeouts, and that was his first home run he has given up all season. And just like that, here in the top of the first inning, it's now 1-0 the lead for the side of the Clippers. Is now up the bat comes Cole Tideman for Malcolm, as Geisler's second pitch into Tideman is there for strike number 1. On the season, batting-wise, for Malcolm, and more specifically for for Tideman, 444 batting average. He has 8 RBIs, 2 triples, and a home run. As currently the count sits at 2-1 to Tideman, and great bounce back pitch from Easton Geisler. Now it's 2-2 the count. This top of the first inning, a 1-0 lead for Malcolm, as Geisler deals upstairs again. There's ball 3. It's 3-2. Mason Wisniewski on deck with Carson Frank in the hole for Malcolm. The 3-2 pitch. Another one that's upstairs on a fastball, and on over to first base goes Colt Tideman, as Mason Wisniewski up now to bat for Malcolm, the Wisniewski brothers. Mason, 500 batting average, 18 RBIs, 2 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs. He leads the team in RBIs for Malcolm. One of the, of course, high-powered offenses here in all of Class A baseball. Well, not even Class A's, but in all of Nebraska baseball as a whole. Yeah. So here comes. So I got ahead of myself with North Platte now moving up to Class A this year. 0-1 the count now to Wisniewski with a runner at first base. Nobody out. There goes said runner, and it's going to be a pitch in the dirt. So with that, Cole Tideman's going to scamper to second base on a steal. And now it's 1-1 the count into Wisniewski. It's top of the first inning. As here comes the pitch from Easton Geisler. That one rocketed into center field for a base hit. They're going to wave on home Tideman, but a great throw from Caden Johnson to cutoff man. Landon Greeno will force Tideman just to get to third base, and that's a single up the middle for side of Malcolm and the Clippers. As here comes Carson Frank, the pitcher in today's game, up to bat. Frank this season, 405 batting average. Second on the team in RBIs with 16. He also has 2 doubles to his name, as Geisler now has runners at the corners with nobody out in the top of the first inning as he deals. Beautiful pitch that's in there for strike number 1. Garrett England on deck with Brixton Meyer in the hole for the Clippers in this final game of the series for these two teams after Malcolm beat Norfolk a couple of minutes ago. Was a great throw from Dean McIntyre. Will not get the runner out at second, and because of that easily scoring is Tideman, and there's another run to come across for Malcolm. 2-0 the lead. 0-2 the count now to Carson Frank. As looking to see if Geisler can find that first out. This at bat slowly grounded on over to third to Stifler. Throw on over to first with some speed. Throw over to third is not going to be in time. So with that, Carson Frank gets out on a ground out, but will advance the runner on over to third. And with that, one down here in this top of the first inning for Garrett England to come up to bat. England this season, 400 batting average, 9 RBIs, 1 double for England. It's 2-0 the lead for Malcolm as that's going to bounce away from Dean McIntyre. And with that, Wisniewski comes home on a passed up ball. It's an early 3-0 lead for Malcolm. 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors for either squad, but the runs are already pouring in early and often for the Clippers. And we knew that they were going to be a tough opponent for North Platte today, being 9-1. As Geisler's pitch there, strike number 1. 1-1 the count. As they Wally-gaggled Norfolk last game. As next pitch, that one, out of the glove of Easton Geisler on a comebacker. Can they throw it to first in time? And Logan Hayes can do so. As a comebacker out of the glove of Geisler, but the Bulldogs defense on the infield was able to help Geisler out. And now there's 2 down in this inning for Brixton Meyer up to bat. Chase Smith on deck with Justin Wisniewski in the hole for the Clippers. Smith this season adding 222, 8 RBIs, one double, and 1 home run as well. As first pitch from Easton Geisler is going to be outside for ball number 1. 1-0 the count with 2 outs here in this top of the first inning. And next pitch from Geisler, good bounce back, gets into the zone. So 1-1, 2 outs, 3-0 lead, 3 runs on 2 hits have come across for Malcolm. As the 1-1, that pitch going to be bounced into the dirt from Easton Geisler for ball 2. Two outs here, top of the first on our wicked fast scoreboard. As that one swung on in, missed by Brixton Meyer. Strike 2. It's 2-2 the count now from Easton Geisler as he looks for his 5th strikeout this season. And to get out of this inning, only giving up the 3 runs. The 2-2. Well, that one, another one in the dirt, way in front. Ball 3. 3-2 the count now to Brixton Meyer. As it's a full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. As here comes Geisler's next pitch. And that's going to bounce off the shoulder there of Brixton Meyer, and Meyer now waltzes on over to first base, following the hit by pitch, and because of that, here comes Chase Smith up to bat. 222 batting average, 8 RBIs, 1 double, 1 home run. As to pitch for another one from going to be there for ball number 1 to Chase Smith. As runner still at first, is big swing and a miss by Smith for strike number 1. It's currently 1-0 the count to Chase Smith. As the next pitch from Geisler looking to be on the way. As with 2 down, here comes the 1-1 pitch. Off speed is upstairs for ball 2 from Easton Geisler. As he's on pitch number 28 here in this first inning. As Geisler now 2-1. Fouled back to the parking lot. As it's 2-2 the count now. Fired up from Easton Geisler to Chase Smith. As Geisler searching for that final out of this inning. 3 runs have already come across on our wicked fast scoreboard. 2-2, there goes the runner. That one, though, another one fouled on the third base side for another 2-2 count with 2 outs. As Geisler already picking up a lot of pitches in this first inning alone. Still at first base, Meyer for the Clippers. The 2-2 from Easton Geisler. In there, strike 3, and Chase Smith goes down looking. 3 runs came across on 2 hits for the side of the Clippers. We now go to the bottom of the first inning. North Platte trailing 3-0 to Malcolm. When we come back, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WV's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
The DNN Event Center wishes everyone a great sports season. With North Platte and Nebraska weather, things change quickly and can make our lives a little more difficult. Thank goodness for the DNN. The DNN offers hourly rentals for all types of sports practices, including turf, courts, batting cages, and equipment usage. Call the DNN Event Center to schedule your team's practice times and for more league information for all sports seasons. For over 30 years in our community, for your next event, the DNN Event Center.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water? Honey, I think we need a plumber. Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
See me, Pete Foltz, at 501 South Jeffers for a free insurance review.
Every step should feel great, but if foot pain, bunions, steel spurs, or injuries are slowing you down, Great Plains Foot and Ankle Specialists is here to help. Their expert team of doctors provide top-notch care, from routine foot health to advanced treatments and surgery. Whether you're an athlete, always on the go, or just tired of aching feet, they'll get you back on your feet pain-free. Step into comfort. Call Great Plains Foot and Ankle Specialists today, or see them online at gpfootandankle.com.
Welcome back here to, of course, Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. North Platte High School battling here with Malcolm, game number 2 of these 2 games on this triangular. As on the mound for Malcolm is Carson Frank. This season for Carson Frank, he's 7.0 ERA. He's 1-1 on the season. In his 4 appearances, he'll be facing off against Jackson Peters to open up this inning. Our, of course, happening breaks are brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. You can check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group at his location, 621 South Dewey, Suite B. A quick 0-2 count into left fielder Jackson Peters. Leading off, Caden Johnson on deck with Dean McIntyre in the hole. Franks 0-2. Way behind the head of Jackson Peters for ball number 1. It's 1-2 the count to Peters. As the windup from Mr. Carson Franks on its way. That one skied up, drifting towards center field. Onwards comes McGreer, and he gets there to glove out number 1 in this bottom of the first inning. As here comes Caden Johnson up to bat for North Platte. Strong game earlier for the senior, as again coming into today wasn't batting the best at a 182 batting average. And after that first game has worked his way up now to a 190. with 2 doubles this year, as that fastball from Frank is there for strike number 1 to Caden Johnson. Dean McIntyre on deck with Landon Greeno in the hole, and that's back-to-back pitches from Carson Frank that have made their way into the zone. 0-2 with 1 out. As Frank's now quick 0-2 pitch. Fastball high upstairs. Ball 1. 1-2 now with 1 down in the bottom of the first. 3-0 lead for Malcolm and the Clippers. As Frank winds on up. Swing and a miss by Caden Johnson, and there's out number 2. Quick 2 up, 2 down for the Bulldogs offense. As Dean McIntyre, who played a big role in the comeback in game number 1 against Norfolk in the bottom of the 5th inning, now up to bat against Frank. Can he get some steam rolling for this North Platte offense? Another pitch in the zone. Strike number 1. 0-1, 2 outs. As finally the first ball in a little bit. 1-1. The catcher on deck, Landon Greeno with Logan Hayes in the hole. Here comes Frank's 1-1. That one foul tipped, and it'll go into the parking lot for strike number 2. 1-2 the count now to McIntyre. As Frank winds up 1-2, and McIntyre goes down looking as another fastball blows right past him. And just like that, a quick 3 up, 3 down for North Platte High School. We're going, you guessed it, to the top of the second inning. We come back here to Billwood Field on FM 98.1, AM 1410, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
You're hungry and you don't want to time for Dave's.
You know how it goes. It's 6 p.m. already and nothing's planned for dinner. Let Dave's Place take care of it. With dine-in and carry-out, your family's meal is taken care of.
And Dave's Place has a big game on.
A family atmosphere with plenty of TVs to watch all the matchups you want. With homemade pizza, wings of almost any flavor, and nightly drink specials, Dave's Place won't let you down for dinner.
Frank's 1510 East 4th Street, North Platte, or online at davesplacemp.com.
Whoop, whoop.
Whether you're a weekend warrior, youth, or professional athlete, the Great Plains Health Sports Medicine Team has you covered. The team includes orthopedic surgeons, athletic trainers, and other healthcare specialists who spend their time at local high school and college sporting events, ensuring that athletes stay as injury-free as possible. In the event of an injury, the team remains committed to returning athletes to competition as quickly and safely as possible.
Contact the Great Plains Health Sports Medicine Team by calling 308-568-7456.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. 3-0 the lead for Malcolm and the Clippers here. Game number 2 of this triangular. Dogs fell in game number 1, 13-11 to Norfolk, and the Panthers off to a rough start in the first inning, gave up 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors for North Platte High School compared to their offensive side. Excuse me, the Clippers with their 3 runs, 2 hits, compared to North Platte, who had quick 3 up, 3 down in their offensive stints. Now up to bat, Justin Wisniewski for side of the Clippers with Preston Kushera on deck and Austin Skies, who wouldn't be in the hole and who is their flex player today. We'll go back to the top of the order after. Going to go after, of course, Kushera. As with that, here we go, rock and rolling. Still on the mound, Easton Geisler from North Platte High School will fire his first pitch into Wisniewski, but it's tight inside for ball number 1. 1-0 count to Justin Wisniewski as he will sling that into left field for a base hit. Another hit for Malcolm as Wisniewski gets one past the diving glove of Connor Stifler, and to lead off the top of the second inning, another runner gets aboard for the Clippers. As 3 runs and 3 hits. Runner now at first base. As the Geisler are going to try to pick off Justin Wisniewski, but gets back in time, and Kuchera comes up to bat. Logan McGreer on deck and Cole Tideman in the hole. As Geisler's first pitch in as Kuchera looks to lay the bunt down. It's high upstairs for ball number 1. Ball number 1 is currently a 1-0 count into Kuchera. As after this, we'll go back to the top of the order. One runner at first, being Wisniewski. Geisler staring him down quite long. The 1-0. Another bunt attempt from Kuchera as doesn't get anywhere near the strike zone, unfortunately, for Geisler. It's 2-0 the count now to catcher Preston Kuchera. 3-0 on our wicked fast scoreboard. Connor Stifler on the infield grass. That's his 2-0. Good bounce back pitch in the zone for strike number 1. It's 2-1 now to Kuchera. And it's 2-1. Long glance at first for Easton Geisler. Here comes. Said 2-1. Another bunt attempt from Kuchera as he pulls back. It's ball number 3. 3-1 the count now to Kuchera. As Easton Geisler trying to rein it in and find some good command of the zone. The 3-1. That bunt going to get laid down, and it goes out of bounds foul. Good awareness from Connor Stifler to let it go out, foul, and then pick it up so that, of course, get the strike instead of trying to gun it to first in time. So it's a full count, 3-2 to Kuchera, with Justin Wisniewski still on over at first base for Malcolm. Geisler gets the okay from the home plate umpire. 3-2 pitch, nobody out. Top of the second inning. He'll glance at first. And now deliver 3-2 pitch. Oh, it's just outside for ball 4, and on over to first goes Kuchera. So 2 runners on the base pads at second and first. Wisniewski at second. Kuchera at first. For now, the leadoff batter, Logan McGreer. He hit a home run off the first couple of pitches of Easton Geisler out to the scoreboard. Now has 2 runners in scoring position for Malcolm in this top of the second inning. As Geisler will get the A-OK from the catcher in terms of the sign, and he'll now look to fire in his first pitches to McGreer. As McGreer looks to lay the bunt down. Good stuff from Dean McIntyre as that ball hit the dirt. So it's 1-0 the count now to McGreer. Tideman on deck with Mason Wisniewski in the hole for the Clippers. Still nobody out in this top of the second inning. 1 runner in scoring position being Jason Wisniewski at second. Bunt being laid down by McGreer, and it's going to be foul for strike number 1. 1-1 the count now. Of course, the Dogs without 2 players this year. Stein as well as Easton Jones, both with injuries. Jones might be back by district time as Stein done for the year. 1-1, nobody out. 2 runners on. As here comes Geisler's 1-1 pitch into McGreer. Looks to lay the bunt down again. Beautiful bunt being laid down there by McGreer. And like that, another runner has gotten on, and the bases are now loaded. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better bunt from Logan McGreer. 4th hit today, and now the bases are loaded for Cole Tideman. He walked in his first plate appearance against Geisler. And now with the bases loaded situation, could bring some runs home with some hits as Geisler's first pitch into Tideman is down low. Ball number 1. Pitch from Geisler. Fastball upstairs. Ball 2, 2-2. To Cold Timon as time is going to be called. As now we're going to have a conversation with Easton Geisler from the pitching staff. As unfortunately for Geisler, who has had a pretty good start to this season, has unfortunately not been able to find consistency with his pitches today. 44 pitches, and we're already in the top of the second inning. 22 strikes, 22 balls. As the Dogs are in a situation where the bases are loaded with nobody out against a Malcolm team, which is, again, a team that is threatening for a state championship, as they always do. As conversation gets done, Geisler having a conversation with Connor Stifler, and now we're ready to get back to the workings of it. Bases loaded. Justin Wisniewski at third, Kashera at second, and Logan McGreer on over at first. 2-0 the count to Cole Tideman. Pitch. Beautiful bounce back from Easton Geisler for his first strike of this at-bat. 2-1 the count. As 2-1. Geisler likes the sign for McIntyre and delivers. That one's going to almost catch the feet of Tideman for ball 3. It's 3-1 the count now, and Geisler staring down the barrel of walking Tideman, which would bring a run across. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. That's in the dirt, ball 4, and with that, a free run will come home for side of Malcolm, as they'll now take the lead 4-0. Here in the top of the second inning with Mason Wisniewski up to bat, singled into center field in his last plate appearance for Malcolm. No Bulldogs strolling over to the dugout or out of the dugout yet to start warming up pitching, as another one from Geisler is this time behind Mason Wisniewski for ball 1. Still nobody out, top of the second. Bases loaded for Malcolm and the Clippers. Geisler is 1-0. That one there, strike number 1 around the lettering. 1-1 now. Kashera at third, McGreer at first, and then, at second, and then Cole Tideman over at first base. 1-1 now. Geisler into the motion he goes. That one smothered out to center field. Getting back underneath the Caden Jelton, he'll glove it up. They're going to try to throw it on over to the third. 1 run will score for the side of Malcolm, following the sacrifice fly from Mason Wisniewski. And with that, we have runners at the corners now. 5-0 on our wicked fast scoreboard in the top of the second inning for Carson Frank. Grounded out to Connor Stifler in his first plate appearance. As runners at the corner, McGreer third, Tideman at first. As Geisler with a deep breath now lays into his motion. Runner goes from first. McIntyre to throw to third. They might get the out, and they're not going to get the out. As a beautiful read from Dean McIntyre. Instead of throwing it to second to potentially get Tideman, who got a good jump, he throws it to third with an opportunity maybe to get McGreer out at third base, but Stifler just a smidge behind on the tag, and with that, a 1-0 count into Frank. Up into the sky it goes. Underneath it gets Brody Pittner. Pittner backing up. He gets there and gloves it, and with that, there's 2 down. In this top of the second inning, good glove by Brody Pittner, who's taking over for Ty Handelborg at second base in this game number 2. Of course, if you weren't with us for game number 1, in the top of the 7th inning, Ty Handelborg got ejected after a couple of words with one of the umpires, and because of that, he won't be able to participate here in this second game as per the rules. First pitch in now to the next man up. Garrett England is in there. Strike number 1 from Easton Geisler. 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position for the Clippers, as Geisler now with his 0-1 pitch. Off speed is off the mark. 1-1 now. He's at 53 total pitches is Easton Geisler. 26 strikes and 27 balls. Top of the second inning. 5-0 lead for Malcolm. The 1-1. Another pitch that's around the letters, but up. Ball 2. It's 2-1 the count now. 2 down. Tideman at second. McGreer 2-1. Another pitch down low. It's ball 3. It's 3-1 now. The count to Garrett England, Rickson Meyer on deck. Chase Smith in the hole for Malcolm. As here comes Geisler's 3-1 pitch. And in there for strike number 2, Garrett England thought that was going to be a ball. So it's right around the edge of the zone. 3-2 with 2 outs. 2 runners on the base pads as Geisler shakes off a few signs from Dean McIntyre and gets the one he likes. 3-2. Here comes that pitch. Swing and a miss, and down goes England swinging. Geisler did give up 2 runs in this top of the second, but came away just giving up those only 2 runs. We're now going to go to the bottom of the third inning when we come back here to Bill Wood Field on FM 98.1 and 1410 and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than Bill Summers Ford Honda Nissan Lincoln for your next vehicle. Look online 24/7 at BillSummers.com. Bill Summers is Western Nebraska's leasing headquarters, and they have aggressive financing to get you into the vehicle you've been dreaming of. Check out all the inventory at BillSummers.com anytime. Bill Summers Ford Honda Nissan Lincoln, where families are our business. Highway 83 and Walker Road in North Platte, and online 24/7 at BillSummers.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Chris Kroll. At Kroll Clinic, we specialize in all areas of rehab, from daily aches and pains to sports injuries, motor vehicle accidents, or post-surgical care. We're the area's premier facility for concussion recovery. Visit us at KrollClinic.com, that's KRULL Clinic.com, or come visit us at Westfield Shopping Center in North Platte. We are committed to getting you back in the game of life without those annoying facility fees.
Welcome back here to Bill Wood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. It is the bottom of the second inning with Landon Greeno up to bat for the first time in this game. North Platte trailing 5-0 on our wicked fast scoreboard. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Malcolm and the Clippers. No runs, no hits, no errors for North Platte High School. Again, our happening breaks are brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. Check out Kevin McGann of the Fortifying Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, Suite B. As, of course, up to bat, Landon Greeno as he skies that up and will pull it foul for strike number 2. This bottom of the second inning. 0-2 now to first baseman Greeno as Carson Frank into his windup. Upstairs, ball number 1. From Frank to Greeno on deck. Logan Hayes, Tommy Haggard in the hole for North Platte. They trail 5-0 against Malcolm in the bottom of the second inning. That pitch from Frank, very down low, almost in the dirt. Ball number 2, 2-0 the count. It's going to be 2-2 the count to Greeno. As here comes Frank's pitch. Fouled. Once again, that goes towards the Malcolm dugout. Still stay at 2-2. 5-0 the lead on our wicked fast scoreboard for Malcolm. It's game number 2 of the 2-game triangular. 2-2. Swing and a miss by Greeno for out number 1. As up to bat now comes Logan Hayes for North Platte High School. Trying to find some momentum to go the way of North Platte High. as Frank now will wind her up. Titans side. There's strike, though, number 1 to Logan Hayes. So 0-1 with 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. As that pitch, another one that just barely skirts in for. So there's ball number 1. Correction. 1-1 is Hayes. What good glove by Mason Wisniewski. Throw to first in time. What a great defensive stop by Wisniewski. On over at third base as he's able to get the second out of this bottom of the second inning with Tommy Haggard now up to bat. I mean, great. As here comes Haggard, had a good showing in game number 1 when he came in for Tyler Townsend. 2 walks, a single as well. Now for the first time today, firsting off against Frank as he swings on a pitch that's upstairs for strike number 1. Next pitch from Carson Franks. Down low for ball 2 to Haggard. Following Haggard, Cade Songster and then Connor Stifler. 2 down though in this bottom of the second as Frank will shake off a pitch, and now the 2-1 to Haggard. That one slowly chipped on over to first, picked up by England. He'll step on the first base bag, and there's another 1-2-3 inning for North Platte High School. We're going to the top of the third when we come back here at FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
Puro Clean of North Platte delivers fast water, mold, and fire damage restoration services to the North Platte area. Puro Clean knows how challenging those times can be to you and to your family. Their Nebraska-based experts have a winning, reliable combination of training and equipment partnerships. Local, fast service in the North Platte area. Their average on-site time is 60 minutes, and they'll coordinate with your local insurance provider. Give Puro Clean a call now at 1-800-775-7876 and schedule a visit from a member of the team at Puro Clean in North Platte.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
In North Platte, visit Jay Engel at fbfs.com/find-and-agent.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. Timeout's brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. Check him out. Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, Suite B, as well as our other Sports Zone sponsors for today's game, Premier Toyota. Stop by today and see why Premier Toyota is the #1 choice for car buyers. Let's go places. As well as River's Edge Golf Club, featuring modern amenities, a beautifully maintained course, lush greens, and breathtaking views of the North Platte River. River's Edge Golf Club delivers one of the best golfing experiences in West Central Nebraska. So once again, here we go up to get rocking and rolling today's game. As for the side of Malcolm, Rickson Meyer up to bat. He was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance against Easton Geisler as Geisler fires one in for a ball. 1-0 the count now. Geisler gets the sign for McIntyre. 1-0. Titans side, another ball to Rickson Meyer. On deck, Chase Smith with Justin Wisniewski in the hole. Next pitch, though, good bounce back from Geisler. Finds his first strike. Next pitch, good hold from from Meyer is still struggling to find good consistency in the zone is Geisler. There was some action as they moved towards the North Platte dugout. Jake Kincaid as well as Tyler Townsend, as that's a walk from Easton Geisler. And Meyer goes over to first. As up to bat, Chase Smith comes. He struck out looking in his appearance earlier in this ball game. 5-0 the lead for Malcolm and the Clippers. 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors. As he's going to bounce that foul for strike number 1. Justin Wisniewski on deck. Preston Kuchera in the hole. 0-1 the count to Smith. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors on our wicked fast scoreboard for Malcolm. No runs, no hits, no errors for North Platte High School. Playing a much cleaner game number 2, but offensively still trying to find a jump start early on as that one is cut down the right field side. It's the slicing foul as Haggards can't get there, but it's foul. As it's a foul ball. I mean, Haggard was so close to getting there. The way North Platte likes to play its outfields is they kind of play closer to center than normal. And with that, if things kind of start cutting towards the foul lines, they got to quickly run on out. Haggard almost got there, but it's a bowl foul. And with that, Chase Smith now in an 0-2 count with nobody out and a runner at first being Brixton Meyer. Geisler will shake off a few pitches, likes that one from McIntyre. Long stare down at first. Meyer a steal threat. Next pitch. Grounded on over to Stifler. This could be a double play. They're going to actually throw it to first just to get the one out. And with that, Chase Smith grounds out to Connor Stifler, and because of that, the runner's going to advance on over to second. 5-0, 5-0 lead. This top of the third inning for Malcolm. For Justin Wisniewski. He singled into left field in his last plate appearance versus Geisler. On deck, Preston Kuchera, then back to the top of the order with Logan McGreer. As Geisler glancing at second. First pitch. Oh, and that's off the back of Justin Wisniewski. And second hit by a pitch today for the Clippers is now up to bat with runners at second and third for Malcolm. Wisniewski at first, Meyer at second. Kuchera up to bat. He walked in his last plate appearance. Again, there was some action in the bullpen. I think the 2 players that walked out being Jake Kincaid and so Kincaid being the one warming up in this relief effort when he comes aboard. As Geisler glancing at second delivers first pitch to Kuchera. Throw on over to third, and they're going to not get the out as Connor Stifler dropped the ball. As great throw from Dean McIntyre, but unfortunately Stifler could not hold on to it. And with that, 2 runners successfully steal respected base pads, and a 1-0 count into Kuchera. With Meyer at third, Wisniewski at second. 1 down here in the top of the third inning. The pitch. Beautiful pitch from Geisler as that's a strike. 1-1 with 1 out. Still 2 runners in scoring position for the Clippers. They've been very good today in converting their opportunities against North Platte here early. The 1-1. That one smothered down the left field side, but it will fall out of play for strike number 2. It's 1-2 the count. 1-2 with 1 out. As Geisler fires. Well, that's in the dirt, and that gets away from Dean McIntyre, so a free run will come across. That's Brixton Meyer coming home on the passed up ball, so a run comes across. 6-0 now the lead for Malcolm in the top of the third inning. Still a runner on the base pads at Third base being Justin Wisniewski. 2-2, 1 out. As here comes the pitch. Fouled off by Kashera. Will still stay at 2-2. McGreer on deck with Tideman in the hole for Malcolm. As the 2-2 from Geisler. Rounded, once more foul. This time to the third base side. So we'll have another repeat 2-2 count. These guys are looking for second out of this inning. We'll throw one that's way up in the zone. Ball 3, 3-2 the count now. As now a full count from Easton Geisler with one down. The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. And like that, on over to first goes Kashera. And now here comes Logan Greer. He got on with a beautiful bunt in his last at-bat. Crushed a solo home run in his first at-bat to the scoreboard. And now, for Easton Geisler, who's at pitch number 75, a potential double play opportunity with the runner at first. But there still is one runner in scoring position at third base. So Geisler needs to play his cards right. First pitch from him to McGreer. Outside, ball 1. Top of the third, 1 out. 6-0 lead for Malcolm. As Geisler now, with his 1-0 pitch, delivers. That's another pitch that's too low. Ball number 2, 77 pitches, 37 strikes, 40 balls for Geisler in his start today. As he'll glance on over at first base. Take a long stare there, and here comes his 2-0 pitch. Swing and foul tipped off by McGreer. Strike number 1. It's 2-1 now, the count into McGreer. Two and one out. Runners at the corners. 6-0 lead for Malcolm. 2-1 pitch. There goes the runner on over to second, throw to third, and that is going to be an out at third. Finally, Dogs are able to capitalize on a little bit of some over-aggression from Malcolm, and yet again, Dean McIntyre doing a fantastic job with his throw as he'll get Wisniewski out at third base. As getting picked off there is Wisniewski. There's now 2 outs here in this inning. So, Kashera now on over at second. 2-2 count. Make that a 3-2 count to McGreer. Tideman on deck with Mason Wisniewski in the hole for Malcolm. This could be a big pitch here from Geisler if he can get it out to end the inning and stop the bleeding with only 1 run coming across. 3-2 pitch. That one smashed. It's going out again into center field, but underneath it, Johnson gets there, and that's the final out of this inning. A much better inning for Easton Geisler. Only gave up the 1 run. We're now going to the bottom of the third inning with North Platte High School trailing the side of Malcolm. 6-0. We come back. FM 98.1, AM 1410, and video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
Hands of Heartland has offered support and services for those with developmental disabilities in Nebraska since 1998 and is now bringing those services to the North Platte area. Residential services, respite services, community services, and even day services. Hands of Heartland offers a full array of services from 24-hour supports to just a few hours per week. Learn more today online at handsofheartland.com. That's handsofheartland.com. Hands of Heartland, providing creative opportunities to live and grow.
Get ready for the ultimate fun day out. Start at Brinkham's Tap Room with a brand new menu you won't want to miss. Catch all of the action on game day with your favorite teams on our big screens. Pair the excitement with amazing drinks, and you've got the ultimate game day experience at Brigham's Tap Room. And when you're ready for more fun, head over to Wild Bill's Fun Center. So our action-packed arcade, pins in our bowling alley, and gear up for an epic laser tag battle. There's something for everyone at Wild Bill's, where the fun never stops.
Welcome back here to One Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live at NorthPlattePost.com. It is the bottom of the third inning. North Platte High School currently trailing Malcolm 6-0, 6 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Clippers. No runs, no hits, no errors for North Platte High School. Put $2 down this inning. The Dogs will get their first hit today. You know, anytime you put money down, it always seems to go your way. Maybe not, as Songster's going to foul one off to the parking lot. 1-1 strike. Half-inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, Sweet Beach. As well as our other sponsors for today's game, Justin Thompson Family Agency with American Family Insurance. With the ever-changing industry standards, they pride themselves on top-notch customer service no matter what type of insurance you're looking for. 1-1 to Songster is down low for ball 2. It's 2-1 the count now to Cade Songster. Got his first hit a game ago against Norfolk in these 2 games, and that's going to bounce off the back of Cade Songster. And with that, he'll take a walk on over to first following the hit by pitch. And now Connor Stifler comes up to bat. First Bulldog to get onto the base pad today against Carson Frank, who's only thrown 29 pitches. As time's to be called, and Malcolm, his head coach, will go have a conversation with home plate umpire. So the conversation, I guess, was over if the ball actually did hit Cade Songster, but doesn't matter anymore. Is up to here to bat. Connor Stifler appears. Brody Pittner on deck with Jackson Peters in the hole as Frank tried to pick off Songster at first. Dogs still looking for their first hit of this ball game. Just got their first runner aboard as Stifler tries to lay the bunt down, but Frank throws the ball in the dirt. Ball number 1. It's 1-0 the count. 6-0 lead still for Malcolm in this bottom of the third inning. Dogs looking to turn their offense around. Next pitch. Oh, once again, throw on over to first will not be in time as Songster gets back. But now it is a 2-0 count to Connor Stifler. So he's looking to draw a walk and put 2 runners on the base paths for North Platte High School. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Stifler lays out a very, very nice bunt. Picked up by Wisniewski. Throw to first will be in time. And the throw on over to second will not, as getting back does Cade Songster. So beautiful bunt from Connor Stifler. He almost made it to first, but that at least will move Songster on over to second base for Brody Pittner to come up. It's good to see Pittner back in the baseball attire. Seen him a couple of times try out for the FBO Nationals, but now getting some big swings for the Bulldogs here today in relief for Ty Hanneborg, as Hanneborg again got ejected from game number 1. Of course, Father Pittner here on the sideline, cheering him on. The 1-0 to Brody Pittner. Fastball, another one that's outside, ball 2. Carson Frank really having some issues in this inning, finding the strike zone against the Bulldogs' bottom half of the order. As the 2-0 pitch to Brody Pittner, there goes a runner on over to third. Good hit from Pittner, and it's going to bounce off the foot there. And there's Cade. There goes Songster, and he's going to go out. And I mean, you couldn't have asked for some more bad luck for North Platte High School as Pittner gets the hit, but unfortunately it bounces off of Songster's foot, and because of that, that's runner interference. And because of that, that's an out for North Platte High School. Unfortunate for the Dogs. As Pittner does, though, record the first hit today for North Platte High, but there's now 2 outs here in this bottom of the third for Jackson Peters to here once again. He flew out to center field in his first plate appearance against Carson Frank. I mean, you really just today couldn't have asked for more bad luck with some of the things that have gone along with the Bulldogs. As another fastball down low from Frank. 37 pitches for Carson Frank. Really can start to see his command start to fall down as runner at first being Brody Pittner for North Platte. 2-0. Another off speed, this time down low from Carson Frank. It's 2-1 the count now. Oh, that's going to get away with that. Pittner's going to make his way on over to second, and just like that, on over to first goes Jackson Peters with the walk. And now there's runners at first and second as time's going to be called, and Malcolm's pitching staff will now, our pitching coach will go out and have a conversation with Carson Frank, who, yes, has looked pretty rough in this inning of play after looking nigh unstoppable in the first 2 innings. Really struggling with his control and finding the zone. 19 balls, 21 strikes, 40 total pitches today for Carson Frank. 2 outs, though, in this bottom of the third inning. North Platte High School trailing Malcolm and the Clippers 6-0. Dogs just picked up their first hit 2 batters ago with Brody Pittner. Now Caden Johnson's up to bat. He struck out swinging in his last plate appearance for North Platte High, and you know how good Joni can be when the pressure's on. So many times we've seen him come through with either a big hit or a big out when needed. Now it's the perfect time to see that come to fruition. As Carson Frank now with a deep breath, ready to fire his pitches in for the second time to Caden Johnson with 2 down in this inning. Frank's first pitch to Johnson. Check swing, but it's down low. Ball number 1. Johnson, there's 1 ball, no strikes. On deck, Dean McIntyre with Landon Greeno in the hole for North Platte High School, trailing 6-0 on our wicked fast scoreboard in the bottom of the third inning. Frank, quick glance at second. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Another one in the dirt. That's ball 2, and last 6 pitches have been in the dirt from Carson Frank. Wouldn't be shocked to see in the near future, at the very least, Malcolm attempt a new pitcher. Here comes the 2-0 from Frank. Fouled off, though, by Caden Johnson. Strike number 1, 2-1 with 2 outs. Pittner at second. Peters at first. 2 out in this bottom of the third inning. Frank, long glance at second. Another one. The 2-1 pitch. Oh, that somehow sneaks into the zone. It's very tight. Caden Johnson for strike number 2, 2-2. Still a 6-0 lead for the Clippers and Malcolm. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Carson Frank. That one slowly grounded on over to Wisniewski. What a good glove on over to first in plenty of time. And that is how this inning comes to an end. The Dogs had an opportunity. They were able to break the defense of Carson Frank, but were unable to complete it. And when we come back in the top of the fourth inning, North Platte High School, can their defense still hold, this time scoreless, the Clippers, as we're going to have a new pitcher on the mound for the Dogs when we come back. FM 98.1, AM 1410, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
Buying a car is not always the most pleasant experience, but it doesn't have to be that way. A quarter of a century. That's how long Premier Toyota has been in the North Platte community, delivering a car buying experience that's friendly, easy, and fun. Check PremierAutoplex.com first, then stop by 2600 South Willow Street in North Platte. See Premier Toyota for your next new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle. Premier Toyota at PremierAutoplex.com, just south of I-80, North Platte.
Runza's barbecue bacon Swiss burger is for barbecue lovers.
I respect barbecue.
That's great, Carl.
No, you don't understand. The balance of sweet and smoky barbecue sauce, the crispiness of the bacon, the way Swiss cheese just melts over everything. It's an art form.
So you approve?
I'm having a moment here.
Try the barbecue bacon Swiss burger at Runza, because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
The Bulldogs play here on FM 98.1 and 1410 AM. KWOQ AM North Platte. Enjoy a great home-cooked breakfast from Merrick's Ranch House, Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dine in, order online at merricksnp.com. Use DoorDash or call 532-8200 for carryout.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410. Of course, video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. Happening breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group, helping Nebraska families, farmers, and businesses for more than 50 years. So on the mound for North Platte High School now is one Jake Kincaid, 6.46 ERA in his 4 1/3 innings he's pitched so far, taking over for Easton Geisler, who finished the day 81 total pitches, 40 strikes, 41 balls. Unfortunately for Geisler, just really unable to find the consistency that head coach Ricky Holmes looking for. As Cole Tideman now to bat, he's walked in both of his plate appearances for Malcolm in his 2 plate at bats so far. He'll face Kincaid for the first time as his pitch is there for strike number 1. It's 0-1 the count now. On deck being Mason Wisniewski and then Carson Frank after that. It's the 0-1. Another beautiful strike from Kincaid. 0-2 with and nobody out. Top of the 4th, 6-0 lead for this Malcolm squad. As Kincaid, with his windup now, will deliver the 0-2. Grounded on over to Landon Greeno, who gets there, gloves it up. He steps on first base in time, and there's a first out of this inning, and a good start for one Jake Kincaid. As up to bat now comes Mason Wisniewski, singled into center field in his last plate appearance, then sacrificed, flew out to Caden Johnson in his last. Still a 6-0 lead for for Malcolm as Kincaid's next pitch. I just want to make an announcement. So Trevor went to go turn the lights on, and it's really not that dark outside too yet. And the best part is he's just wearing glasses indoors. So an interesting call is the next pitch from Kincaid outside for ball 2. It's 2-0 the count now to Wisniewski. Carson Frank on deck with Garrett England in the hole as the 2-0 from Kincaid. That's in there, strike number 1. Good pitch from as 2-1 with 1 out with nobody on, as next pitch from Kincaid is inside for ball number 3. It's 3-1 with 1 out. As Wisniewski staring down the barrel on its way. Foul tipped off for strike number 2. As 3-2 now the count into Wisniewski from Kincaid. Oh, but that's going to pull too far on a breaking ball, and it's a walk on over to first to Mason Wisniewski. Trevor is dying over there. As runner at first base with one out here in the top of the fourth inning for Carson Frank, who's up to bat. The runner at first is there's a nice pitch from Kincaid into the zone for strike number one. 0-1 the count. As getting on over at face first, Mason Wisniewski. Frank today grounded out in his first plate appearance, then flew out in his second. As Kincaid now with his, well, it's going to be 0-1 and tries to pick off Wisniewski, and he'll get back in time. So still 0-1. One out. Top of the fourth, 6-0 lead for this Malcolm Clippers squad. Kincaid trying to go the rest of the way. Next pitch, that's just above the lettering for ball one. 1-1 now. Garrett England on deck with Rickson Meyer in the hole for Malcolm. As Kincaid, the windup, will now look to pick off first again, but Wisniewski gets back in plenty of time. As Kincaid will try to follow that pitch up with a beautiful one. 1-1. Ripped on over to the parking lot for foul number two. So strike number two, correction, of this at bat. 1-2 with one out as Kincaid for his. Kincaid will rocket it back in. 1-2 the count with one out. That one tapped on over to Brody Pittner. Can he get it to first in time? No, he cannot. As already getting back home to first base was Wisniewski, but little pop fly to Pittner at second is there for out number two. And here comes up to bat Garrett England. He's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out in his first plate appearance to Logan Hayes at short. And then struck out swinging in his last plate appearance. Rickson Meyer on deck with Chase Smith in the hole. That pitch there, strike number one from Kincaid. As Kincaid now winds it up outside here for a ball. As 1-1 the count with two outs here in this top of the fourth inning. After giving up 3 runs in the first, the Dogs have slowly but steadily halved, or just not even halved, but reduced the runs that have come across from Malcolm. 2 in the second, 1 in the third. They're trying to trend towards no in the fourth as he'll foul it off for strike two. 1-2 the count, 2 outs.
Hey, come on, let's go. Get one more. Let's get some.
1-2, 2 down.
Come on, boy.
Can Garrett England either keep this inning alive or can Kincaid put him down and move the Dogs to the bottom of the fourth? The 1-2. Ooh, that's too low there. Ball number 2. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Kincaid looking for the first strikeout on his day in relief for Easton Geisler. Gave up 6 runs on 4 hits today. 2-2. Foul tipped off by England. So we'll still stay at 2-2 the marker. As North Platte High School trying to keep themselves in this ball game, were finally able to crack Carson Frank last inning and record their first hit of the ball game. Now can they get out of this inning without giving up a run? Kincaid glancing at first to Wisniewski. The 2-2 pitch. That's pulled away from Dean McIntyre, and that's another ball as Mason Wisniewski trots on over to second base. And now it's a full count, 3-2 with 2 outs to Garrett England. As he again struck out swinging in his last plate appearance. As Jake Kincaid now, long glance at second. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes England swinging, and that is how this inning comes to an end. We're going to go now to the bottom of the fourth. North Platte High School trailing Malcolm here 6-0. We come back. FM 98.1, AM 1410 in video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
Spring is here. The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, and every time the wind blows, you feel it inside. And that foggy glass? No, that's not morning dew. It's a sign it's time for an upgrade. Good news. Larry's Glass in North Platte, a locally and veteran-owned business, has the expertise to upgrade those old windows with crystal clear views and energy efficiency to keep your home comfortable all year round. Enjoy spring without the indoor breeze. Call Larry's Glass today or stop by 211 West 5th in North Platte, where quality meets clarity.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask me, Shelter Agent Brent Rogo, how to protect what you have waited for. Find me at 405 East C Street in North Platte.
Welcome back here to Fieldwood Field. It's pandemonium up in the press box. Got one half over here losing its mind while Jake on the other side is celebrating potentially a Florida Gators victory. As for North Platte High School, they are trying to close the door, or not even close the door, but reduce the gap that's currently at play here between them and Malcolm. 6-0 the lead for Malcolm and the Clippers. Half inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortified Group. You can check out Kevin McGann and the Fortified Group. Its location 621 South Dewey, Suite B, as Frank's next pitch will find its way into the zone for strike number one. 1-1 the count. With nobody out, nobody on. McIntyre on deck. McIntyre up to bat. With Greeno on deck and Logan Hayes in the hole as McIntyre swings and misses for strike number two. It's a 1-2 count to the catcher, Dean McIntyre. He struck out looking in his first plate appearance in today's ball game. That's the 1-2. Check swing, but that's upstairs for ball number two. 2-2 the count. Still, the lead is 6-0 in favor of the Clippers, as they have been, really, ever since getting those 3 runs in the top of the first, pretty quiet ever since. As McIntyre cuts one into fair territory, it falls for a base hit. It might be extra bases as McIntyre thought about rounding to second, but he'll stay at first for the second North Platte hit today. As Landon Greeno comes up to bat, as Tyler Townsend will be courtesy running for Dean McIntyre. As Greeno again struck out swinging in his first plate appearance for North Platte High School, as Tyler Townsend courtesy running on over at first base. On deck, Logan Hayes with Tommy Haggard in the hole for the Bulldogs, is just like earlier with the earlier game, they're now starting to find a little bit of an awakening with their bats as Frank bounces back with a strike in the zone. 0-1 the count. Greeno, some big hits in game number one to help start and continue the comeback for North Platte against Norfolk. Can he do one again here against Malcolm? Oh, that's going to get away from the catcher, Kashera, and with that on over goes Tyler Townsend to second base. 1-1 the count, as Malcolm so far looking very reluctant to throw a pitcher into the bullpen to relieve Carson Frank, who last inning and this inning really looking and showing signs of some command struggles. After starting the first 2 innings, pretty strong. It's the 1-1 from Carson Frank on its way to Greeno. It's outside ball 2 to the first baseman. 2-1 the count now. Runner on at second base being Tyler Townsend for North Platte, as Frank with the 2-1. That gets away once more from Kuchera, and that means Tyler Townsend once again will make his way up a base pad to third. And that is not even Carson Frank's fault, as Kuchera just couldn't hold on to the ball, and with that puts a North Platte runner in scoring position for the first time today. This is the first North Platte batter that has made his way all the way to third in this ballgame versus Malcolm. And now can Landon Greeno be the first North Platte batter to bring a run home and start again the comeback. 3-1 the count now to Landon Greeno as Carson Frank delivers. And that's outside ball 4. And with that, Greeno saunters his way on over to first for Logan Hayes, who grounded out to Mason Wisniewski in his first plate appearance. Has runners at the corners being Tyler Townsend and Landon Greeno. 6-0 the lead for Malcolm. 6 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Clippers. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for North Platte High School. So Dogs have done a good job of limiting the errors, have yet to even produced one in this game. As another fake pickoff attempt is Tyler Townsend safely gets back. A big fake from Carson Frank. Faked the throw to first and then slinged it to third. Townsend able to get back in time. As here comes Carson Frank's now first pitch into Tyler Townsend as it goes. In there, strike number 1 to Hayes. Tommy Haggart on deck. Cade Songster in the hole. As Frank with his 0-1 now will get set and deliver. Check swing from Hayes, but ball is in the zone for strike number 2. It's 0-2 the count to the shortstop. Nobody out. Runners at the corners for North Platte High School. In the bottom of the 4th inning, trailing 6-0. As here comes the 0-2 pitch from Carson Frank. That one pulled, picked up by Chase Smith, who throws to second, and that's the only out they're going to get. So they'll get the force out at second to Landon Greeno, but a fielder's choice that also brings a run home for North Platte High School means that they'll get their first run today and now trail 6-1. To this Malcolm squad. As Tommy Haggart up to bat, he grounded out to Garrett England in his first adventure. Oh, this was handed a box of gum, and I was wondering where it was needed to go. That was going to go down the line, but on over at first being Logan Hayes, who reached on the fielder's choice. Now, can Tommy Haggart advance him? Pitch from Frank upstairs for ball number 1. Just want to know the count. Dogs now trail 5 runs. 6-1 on our wicked fast scoreboard as Frank delivers. Titans science, so another good awareness pitch from Tommy Haggart not to swing. 2-0. The count with 1 down. Dogs now trailing 6-1, have a runner on over at first base being Logan Hayes. The 2-0. Fastball thrown over to first is not going to be in time, though. This is the first strike to Haggart as Kuchera tried to pick off Logan Hayes from first as he was pushed a little further away from the first base bag than normal. But 2-1 with 1 out. Carson Frank delivers. Great jump from Logan Hayes. Kuchera's not even going to attempt to throw it as Hayes will successfully steal second base, but it's now a 2-2 count into Tommy Haggart in the bottom of the 4th inning as Frank gets ready and delivers. That one pulled foul, so Haggart at least got some bat on the ball. I mean, very half-hearted swing, but at least made contact. So it's still a 2-2 count with 1 out and 1 runner on. Frank delivers. That's down low. It's a now full count to Tommy Haggart, the right fielder in today's contest. With only one out and a runner in scoring position at second base being Logan Hayes. Carson Frank with the full count 3-2 pitch. There goes Hayes. Sky drifting towards foul territory, and it will fall foul. And Tommy Haggart pulls another foul ball, so we'll stay at 3-2. Another beautiful jump from Logan Hayes. If that got into the outfield, would have easily scored for the Dogs. 3-2 count, one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Dogs got a run a couple of at-bats ago. They now trail Malcolm 6-1 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. Frank with another 3-2 pitch will pull off the bag and think about throwing to second, but nobody is around, so at least get Logan Hayes back. But now Haggart will get set for another full count pitch. Here comes the 3-2. In there, strike three as down goes Haggart looking. Fastball blows right past him for out number two. Is up now. To bat comes Cade Songster, as he got hit in the back in his last plate appearance for North Platte High School. Has Logan Hayes still at second base, as he'll swing and miss on a pitch down low. Strike number one. 0-1 the count to the freshman Songster. Frank lands another long time at Logan Hayes, and he'll step off the bag and get Hayes back, knowing that Hayes can steal on over to the third. 0-1 with two down. The pitch to Songster. Back to the pitcher, Carson Frank, and he'll lob it on over to first for the final out. Dogs, though, did get one run to come across. We're now going to make our way to the top of the fifth inning. 6-1 the lead for Malcolm on our Wicked Fast scoreboard when we come back here, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
That's why stop. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than Bill Summers Ford, Honda, Nissan, Lincoln for your next vehicle. Look online 24/7 at BillSummers.com. Bill Summers is Western Nebraska's leasing headquarters, and they have aggressive financing to get you into the vehicle you've been dreaming of. Check out all the inventory at BillSummers.com anytime. Bill Summers Ford, Honda, Nissan, Lincoln, where families are our business. Highway 83 and Walker Road in North Platte, and online 24/7 at BillSummers.com.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field on FM 98.1, AM 1410, and video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. It is the top of the fifth inning as Brixton Meyer up to bat for the side of Malcolm. And the Clippers. Our half-inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. His location, 621 South Dewey. Suite B is Kincaid's first pitch into Meyer is there for strike number one. Also, thanks to our other Sports Zone sponsors today, Smokin' Double D's at Butch's in Hershey. Locally owned and operated where they smoke their own meats low and slow to bring you award-winning barbecue as another pitch around the knees from Jake Kincaid. Therefore, ball number 1-1 the count as Kincaid will fire another one in. In there for strike two. It's 1-2 the count now to Kincaid. Jake Kincaid, who came in for Easton Geisler, looking really strong so far. I say that off speed will drift away for ball 2, 2-2 the count. Following Meyer, Chase Smith, and then Justin Wisniewski. That's 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order for the Clippers. That one swung on and missed by Meyer for first strikeout today for Jake Kincaid, and the first out North Platte High School in this top of the fifth inning. As Kincaid really locked in today. And exactly what the Dogs needed. It's crazy because in back-to-back games, Dogs get off to a slow start from the pitching standpoint, but as the game slowly turns on and they get to a new pitcher, they seem to really find their footing as that pitch is too tight inside to Chase Smith for ball number 1. Struck out looking in his first plate appearance and then rounded out in his second. 1-0 the count with 1 out as the pitch. Another fastball that's low. Ball 2 to Chase Smith from Jake Kincaid. 27 pitches for Kincaid, 15 strikes, 12 balls. As Kincaid now with his 2-0. Swing and a miss from Chase Smith on the off speed. 2-1, 1 down. Top of the 5th inning, Kincaid. The deep breath winds it up. That one just above the lettering. There's ball number 3, 3-1 the count now to Chase Smith as he is looking down the barrel of a walk. And his at-bat, the 3-1. And it's outside ball 4, and on over to first goes Smith as here comes Justin Wisniewski. Singled in his first at-bat, was hit by a pitch in his second. Preston Kushera on deck with Logan McGreer in the hole for Malcolm. Have a runner at first base. As here comes the pitch. It's down low for ball 1 to Wisniewski. So 1-0 the count. There's a double play potential on over at second if the Dogs can convert on it. As here comes Kincaid's 1-0 pitch. He'll look to pick off the runner at first. They get some! How about Jake Kincaid doing it all as Chase Smith jumped a little too far off of the first base bag, and Jake Kincaid picks him off. And just like that, there's 2 quick down in this top of the 5th inning for Wisniewski, who had a 1-0 count, trying to keep the inning alive for Malcolm. Swing and a miss. Strike number 1, 1-1 the count to Wisniewski from Kincaid. And with 2 down, Kincaid looking to make it 2 straight innings of perfect ball. 1-1. I'll be pulled outside for ball number 2, 2-1 the count with 2 down. Also, thank you to our Sports Zone sponsors for today's game. Hands of Heartland. Hands of Heartland has offered support services for those with developmental disabilities in Nebraska since 1998, and now bringing those services to the North Platte area. 3-1 the count with 2 down here in this top of the 5th inning. As Kincaid now will fire, said 3-1. And that one's above the lettering for ball 4 as Justin Wisniewski goes to first, and here comes Preston Kushera. Kushera, 2 walks in today's game. I don't believe I am. One of us is wrong. Here comes the first pitch in as swinging and missing there is Kushera for first strike. Up next, top of the order with Logan McGreer. That's a name we can all pronounce. And then Cole Tideman as Kincaid will try to pick off Justin Wisniewski at first, but he'll go back in time. It's 0-1 the count with 2 down. As Kincaid will get the sign in from catcher Dean McIntyre and deliver. That one rocketed into center field. It gets down for a base hit. And now that's going to bounce through Caden Johnson's glove. We might be seeing that's a double there for Justin Wisniewski almost gets away from Connor Stifler at third base, but fortunately for the Dogs, what was looking like a good inning is now turned a little disastrous with Kuchera getting the double out in the first, or in the center, and with that, here comes Logan McGreer. As McGreer, 2 for 3 today, homered in his first plate appearance, bunted on successfully in his second, but did fly out to Caden Johnson. In his third is Austin Sykes now with courtesy running for Kuchera. With 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Dogs are teetering on that run rule type of range. They can't get this final out, but that starts with a beautiful pitch to McGreer. As there's a big swing and a miss from Logan McGreer. There is a 6th inning coming around the corner, to have you know. As the 0-1 is outside and low for ball number 1, 1-1 the count. Runners at second and third. Wisniewski at third. Sykes on over at second. It's the 1-1. Grounded on over to Landon Greeno. Oh, takes a nasty bounce, but he gloves it, but he'll step on first base. And that is how this inning comes to an end. No runs came across again. Another great inning for Jake Kincaid as we now go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 6-1 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. When we come back here to Bill Woodfield on FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies. Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this. Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask me, shelter agent Brant Rogo, about shelter's competitive renter's insurance rates.
Looking for midweek fun? River's Edge Golf Club has you covered. Wednesday, test your knowledge at trivia night, kicking off at 7 p.m. Gather your team and show off those brainy skills. Thursday, it's burger night. Buy one delicious, juicy burger and get the second half off. Now that's a deal worth swinging for. And with the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to hit the greens. Call now to book your tee time. River's Edge Golf Club, where good times and great golf meet.
Welcome back here, Bill Woodfield, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com. Connor Stifler up to bat for North Platte High School in the bottom of the 5th inning against Carson Frank, who is still on the mound for Malcolm, as that fastball tight inside, almost hitting Stifler, ball number 1. Our half-inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, Suite B, for all your farm, crop, auto, home, and commercial insurance. As well as Premier Toyota just south of I-80 in North Platte, invites you guys to stop out and take a test drive here today. Premier Toyota, let's go places. As there's a bounce-back pitch from Carson Frank. Find the strike zone, 2-1. 70 total pitches for Frank today. 38 strikes to 38 balls. Next pitch. Fouled, slicing into the parking lot for second strike. 2-2 the count to Connor Stifler. Brody Pittner on deck with Jackson Peters in the hole for North Platte High School. Still trailing 6-1 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard, as that fastball is going to be in there for strike number 3 as Stifler goes down looking, and now here comes Brody Pittner. Pittner, who's 1-1 today, singled into left field. Fortunately for the Dogs, that single should have been a run coming home, as unfortunately Cade Songster was in the path of said single and bounced off his foot for runner interference and an out for Songster. But Pittner will see a fastball from from Carson Frank for strike number 1. And then drilling one into center field. And daring to grab it. Logan McBreer as a good swing from Brody Pittner. It almost came down for a single into the center field area, but McGreer, with his great speed, is able to get there in time. And with that, there are 2 down here in this bottom of the 5th inning. 6 runs on 6 hits, on 5 hits, no errors for the Clippers. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for North Platte High School. Up next now, Jackson Peters flew out in his first plate appearance to McGreer and then walked in his second. See a pitch that's in the zone for strike number 1. It's 1-1 the count with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Peters looking for his first hit in this second game, turns one into center field, and just like that, I breathe one into existence. Now the Dogs have a runner on first, and it's the speedy Jackson Peters. And with how the Dogs have been trailing so far, would not be shocked if I see Peters take off for second base. With the ever-dangerous Caden Johnson up to bat, he grounded out to Mason Wisniewski in his last plate appearance, but struck out swinging in his first. As Carson Frank delivered to Johnson, there goes Jackson Peters. That one skied into the heavens, but too high up is Tideman trying to get under it, and he does so, and that is how this inning comes to an end. Dogs did get a hit, but unfortunately they were unable to continue to do more with it. We now go to the top of the 6th inning with North Platte High School trailing Malcolm 6-1 on our wicked fast scoreboard. We come back on FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
Great Plains Health Orthopedics in North Platte is ready to serve you with board-certified orthopedic surgeons and a team of medical professionals who specialize in hip, knee, and shoulder joint replacements and revisions, minor to complex hand injuries, sports medicine for both the serious athlete and the weekend warrior, new and innovative operative and non-operative procedures, and work-related injuries. Same-week appointments are available. Call Great Plains Health Orthopedics today.
Every step should feel great, but if foot pain, bunions, heel spurs, or injuries are slowing you down, Great Plains Foot and Ankle Specialists is here to help. Their expert team of doctors provide top-notch care, from routine foot health to advanced treatments and surgery. Whether you're an athlete, always on the go, or just tired of aching feet, they'll get you back on your feet pain-free. Step into comfort. Call Great Plains Foot and Ankle Specialists today, or see them online at gpfootandankle.com.
Welcome back here, Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. Jake Kincaid still on the mound for the Dogs. 40 pitches, 21 strikes, 19 balls against Cole Tideman, who's 0 for 1 today. 2 walks and a ground out to Landon Greeno in his last plate appearance. 6-1 the lead for Malcolm here in the top of the 6th. 6 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Clippers. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for North Platte High School. Half-inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, Suite B. What a great kind of recovery is the word I will say for North Platte High School. Yes, they've given up 6 runs so far, but much better than the 13 they did in game number 1, and I thought I've looked much better in this game, at least from a defensive standpoint than an offensive standpoint, which is clear and obvious with their only 3 hits so far. And has taken a big swing and a miss as Cole Tideman. So a 1-2 count with nobody out. Kincaid! Ooh, that one in there for strike number 3 as Tideman goes down looking for another strikeout for Jake Kincaid. after getting roughed up in his last couple of appearances following his first against Louisville. Now looking good here against Malcolm, a very strong Malcolm squad, who is again 9-1 on the season. Mason Wisniewski up to bat. He walked in his last plate appearance. Sacrifice flew out in his second and then got on with a single in his first as Kincaid fires a strike in. 0-1 the count with one out. Following Mason Wisniewski, Carson Frank, and then Garrett England in the hole. So it's 3, 4, and 5 in the batting order as that off speed dips too low into the dirt for ball number 1. 1-1 the count now to Mason Wisniewski. As there is a pitcher going to warm up in the dugout now for the side of the Malcolm Clippers. That one gets into center field for a base hit, so a one-out single from Mason Wisniewski. As here comes Carson Frank up to bat. Frank 0 for 3, grounded out in his first plate appearance, flew out to Brody Pittner in his second, as well as his third plate appearance. As Garrett England on deck, and then Brixton Meyer in the hole. Again, there is action in the bullpen for Malcolm. I believe that's Mason Ziegler who's going out to warm up. That's first pitch from Kincaid. As it's 1-0 and skied up to the heavens. Landon Greeno looking to get underneath it, calling everybody off. And he gets there and gloves it for the second out. Sky high hit from the side of Frank, as here comes Garrett England with 2 down in this inning. A runner at first being Wisniewski. England so far back-to-back strikeouts in his last 2 plate appearances, but grounded out in his first. Has, again, a runner on at first base, and he'll chop one over to Brian. He can, and he is safe, though, as it looked like Landon Greeno stepped off the bag, and it's an infield single there for Garrett England. Again, tough for Brody Pittner, who still trying to get into the baseball, into the baseball world, but getting more game action as taking over for Ty Hanneborg in this second game after Hanneborg was ejected last game. Brixton Meyer struck out swinging in his last plate appearance. He'll pull one foul for strike number 1. 0-1 the count now with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. As Kincaid with the deepest of deep breaths will now get ready to fire another one into Meyer. As the 0-1 down low, it sneaks away from Dean McIntyre just a little bit, but it's 1-1 the count with 2 down. As Kincaid with his 1-1 count trying to find the final out of this top of the 6th inning and move the Dogs to the bottom of the 6th. There goes the runner on over to third. Great throw from McIntyre. Gets past Stifler. And now coming home with it is Mason Wisniewski. And with that, both runners will advance. And there's the runner at second being Garrett England. 1-1 the count to Brixton Meyer. But there are 2 down at the top of the 6th inning. So, yes, 1 run did come across, but Dogs still in an advantageous position to get the last out here. As Kincaid, the righty now, will set up in there. Strike number 2. Beautiful bounce back pitch from Jake Kincaid. As it's now 2-2. To Brixton Myers, and he struck out swinging in his last plate appearance. 2-2. Runner goes to third. Grounded foul down the third base side, and we'll still keep this count at 2-2. As Kincaid up to 55 pitches, 31 strikes, 24 balls. Again, the Dogs will back in action on Monday against Grand Island, which has always been a tough series. Grand Island being ranked 4th in Class A baseball. 2-2. Oh, that's going to get away from Dean McIntyre, but not far enough to advance England. It's now 3-2 the count with 2 down to Bricks and Meyer. Chase Smith on deck with Justin Wisniewski in the hole for Malcolm. 7-1 the lead on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. There's one run that came across earlier this inning. 3-2. Grounded foul from Bricks and Meyer, his 3rd foul ball this at bat. 7th pitch overall in this at bat from Kincaid. In this top of the 6th inning, Dogs trailing 7-1 against the 9-1 Malcolm Clippers. As Kincaid stares deep down to Dean McIntyre. The 3-2 pitch skied up to the heavens. Underneath it, Kincaid looking to call for it. He gloves it. And that is how this inning comes to an end. 1 run did come home for Malcolm, but we're now going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dogs trailing by 6, 7-1 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. We come back here to Billwood Field on FM 98.1 and AM 1410.
Car is not always the most pleasant experience, but it doesn't have to be that way. A quarter of a century. That's how long Premier Toyota has been in the North Platte community, delivering a car buying experience that's friendly, easy, and fun. Check PremierAutoplex.com first, then stop by 2600 South Willow Street in North Platte. See Premier Toyota for your next new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle. Premier Toyota at PremierAutoplex.com, just south of I-80, North Platte.
Save money at the pump at Quick Stop with the Dino Pay app. Dino Pay offers contactless payment using your preferred debit or credit card. The savings add up with 12 cents per gallon and even more on Tuesdays and Thursdays with rollbacks for savings of 15 cents per gallon. Savings with Sinclair Dino Pay, saving you at the pump. Don't forget Frazzle Gourmet Slushes and for real shakes and smoothies. Gourmet coffee at everyday low prices on your favorite beers.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream. NordPlattePost.com. Carson Frank still on the mound for Malcolm as he faces Dean McIntyre as McIntyre fouls off the first pitch for strike number 1. Our happening breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group at his location, 621 South Dewey, Sweet Pea. Following McIntyre, Landon Greeno, and then Logan Hayes as McIntyre will take a pitch right off the hip, and he'll waltz his way on over to Firth with Tyler Townsend courtesy running for Dean McIntyre as Landon Greeno comes up to bat looking for his first hit in today's ball game. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging in his first at bat, then walked in his second. It's 7-1 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard in favor of Malcolm. And still warming up in the bullpen for Malcolm, I believe, is Mason Ziegler. Here comes the pitch from Frank. Fastball that's outside for ball number 1 to Greeno. Logan Hayes on deck. Tommy Haggard in the hole for North Platte. Quick pickoff attempt will get Tyler Townsend back to first. 7 runs on 7 hits. No errors for Malcolm compared to the 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for North Platte High. The 1-0. Tight with the fastball inside for ball 2. It's 2-0 the count. As now the 2-0 pitch coming in from Carson Frank. That's high for ball 3. So Frank now staring down the barrel of walking Landon Greeno to first if he can't lock in and get a strike. The 3-0. I say that, and he bounces back with a good one. Into the zone, 3-1 from Frank. The Dogs looking to start the late inning comeback here. The 3-1 pitch. Stairs, ball 4, and that's Landon Greeno over to first, and that'll do it probably for Mason Frank as they'll call time, and that's the last mound visit that Malcolm has, and here comes probably Mason Ziegler will be taking over on the mound, most certainly for Carson Frank. 7-1 the lead for Malcolm in today's ball game. As for the Dogs, holistically a much better game than game number 1 was, just for the mere simple fact that only one error, and a lot of those errors have not been self-inflicted, that have cost them a whole heck of a lot. As Carson Frank will still continue on, 85 pitches for him. I would have thought that they brought Seager back from the warm-up pitches as he's done. So 2 runners are on for North Platte High School in this bottom of the 6th inning for Logan Hayes, who reached on the fielder's choice. His last plate appearance, we'll see a fastball in the zone from Carson Frank. Tommy Haggard on deck with Cade Songster in the hole for North Platte High School. As here comes the 0-1. Outside. All 1-1 the count now to one Logan Hayes as Frank delivers. Well, that's going to bounce low, and Landon Greeno might be in some trouble as he safely gets back to first base, as he was very far away from the first base bag, and it's 2-1 now the count to Logan Hayes. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as Carson Frank now with the windup and the 2-1 pitch. In there, strike number 1, next number 2, correction, as it's 2-2 the count. But Logan Hayes, 7-1 lead on a wicked fast scoreboard. If you downloaded the MyPhillips 66 app yet, I'm missing out on so much savings with Wicked Fast. The pitch, skied up straight into the air. Kashera again trying to get underneath it, and he lost the ball, and because of that, foul ball. So it would have been an easy out for Malcolm on the defensive side. Turns into a foul ball, and another opportunity for Logan Hayes to take some at-bat swings. 2-2. Runners at first and second for North Platte High School with nobody out. As Carson Frank get the sign from Kashera, and now here comes the 2-2. Fouled off once again by shortstop, so we'll still stay at this 2-2 count. 91 pitches for Carson Frank today. 51 strikes to 40 balls. As here comes another payoff 2-2 pitch. As time was called by Logan Hayes before the pitch even got off, so home plate umpire awarded the time, and that pitch won't count as Frank was taking a long time to wind up. Still 2-2 the count. Nobody out. On to the 6th inning. As Frank delivers. Fastball in the dirt. Ball 3, and I'd assume if Frank walks Logan Hayes. We'll probably see a pitching change at the very least for Malcolm. 3-2 the count now. As Frank will get the sign from Preston Kuchera. And here comes a full count, 3-2 pitch. That one driven out to center field. Back at it goes McBreer when he gets there and gloves it. 4 out number 1. Some good strong hitting contact-wise from Logan Hayes, but not far enough as McGreer's able to get there and glove it for out number 1 for Tommy Haggart, who struck out looking in his last plate appearance and then grounded out to Garrett England in his first. As 2 runners on the base pads at second and first base, we'll see a pitch from Frank in the zone for strike number 1. 0-1 the count with 1 out. 7-1 lead for Malcolm as that one's pulled fair down the first base side. Gloved up again by England, and he'll step on the first base bag for out number 2. But another runners advance to second and third now. And with 2 down, here comes Cade Songster. What a big opportunity for the young man to bring some runs home. Greeno at second, Tyler Townsend at third. Looking for his first hit in the second game. Got a first hit last game. Oh, that gets away from Kuchera, but not far enough to advance the runners. So with that, it's a 1-0 count into Cade Songster. Connor Stifler on deck. Brody Pittner in the hole for North Platte High School. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Frank now with his 1-0 pitch to Songster. That's right there for strike number 1. 1-1 the count. Long, fun day of baseball. Dogs started off today falling to Norfolk 13-11. Now battling the 9-1 Malcolm Clippers in the second game as that next pitch to Songster is high again, but in there for strike number 2. It's 1-2 the count to Cade Songster in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. As Carson Frank will get set and Songster will step back into the batter's box. 1-2 with 2 down. A base hit would score hopefully both runs. With Frank taking a deep breath, glancing at second and delivering. Foul tipped off by Songster. So we'll stay at 1-2 the count. One and two with 2 down. As Frank delivers. Fouled once more off by Songster. So good little battle brewing here between these two. In the bottom of the 6th with 2 down for North Platte's offense. Now only 7 outs away from picking up their second straight loss. As the pitch now from Carson Frank is delivered. Woof, that one just out, barely outside for ball number 2. It's 2-2 the count now to Songster. And he was hit by a pitch square in the back in his first at-bat, then rounded out in his second against Carson Frank. As here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one bouncing on up into short. Glove, throw to first is not in time. So a run does come home, and the speedy Cade Songster gets an RBI single. As here comes Connor Stifler now up to bat with the Dogs picking up not only their second run today, but another hit under their belt. 7-2 on our wicked fast scoreboard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Stifler grounded out to Mason Wisniewski in his first at-bat and then struck out looking in his second. Has Greeno at third and Songster at first with 2 down. As that pitch is there for strike number 1 to the third baseman, Connor Stifler. With the next one down low for ball 2. For ball 1. 1-1 the count. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dogs trailing Malcolm 7-2. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for North Platte. That pitch also back into the zone from Carson Frank. On deck, Brody Pittner with Jackson Peters in the hole. As here comes the 1-2 pitch from Carson Frank. Up high, there's a fastball. Ball 2. 2-2 the count now. As Frank trying to find the last out of this inning to move it to the top of the 7th, making it one step closer for Malcolm to pick up 2 straight victories here today. The 2-2. Fouled back by Stifler into the parking lot. So we'll still stick at 2-2. 107 pitches for Carson Frank today, 62 strikes to 45 balls. As Frank with the deep breath, another 2-2s. He'll actually try to pick off Songster at first, but he'll get back in time. A pickoff attempt, but still 2-2 the count. 7-2 on our wicked fast scoreboard. Pitch down low. It's going to go away from Kushera. He doesn't even know where the ball is. He doesn't know. And with that, 1 run's going to come home. And they're going to hold up Songster at third as Preston Kushera could not see where the baseball went. And because of that, Songster goes all the way from first to third with Landon Greeno making it all the way home. And now it's 7-3 on our wicked fast scoreboard. Hold up a second here. It's getting a little interesting with time winding down for North Platte High School. 3-2 count to Connor Stifler with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Carson Frank glancing on over at third and delivers the 3-2 pitch. Oh, and it's in there. Strike number 3. That is how this inning will come to an end. Dogs did get 2 runs to come across in this inning. We're now going to go to the top of the 7th, a 7-3 lead for Malcolm. We come back here, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com.
You're hungry and you don't want to time for Dave's.
You know how it goes. It's 6 p.m. already and nothing's planned for dinner. Let Dave's Place take care of it. With dine-in and carry-out, your family's meal is taken care of.
And Dave's Place has a big game on.
A family atmosphere with plenty of TVs to watch all the matchups you want. With homemade pizza, wings of almost any flavor, and nightly drink specials, Dave's Place won't let you down for dinner.
Place 1510 East 4th Street, North Platte, or online at davesplacemp.com.
Whoop, whoop. Sit back and watch me punch.
Hi, this is Dr. Chris Kroll. At Kroll Clinic, we specialize in all areas of rehab, from daily aches and pains to sports injuries, motor vehicle accidents, or post-surgical care, where there is premier facility for concussion recovery. Visit us at KrullClinic.com, that's KRULL Clinic.com, or come visit us at Westfield Shopping Center in North Platte. We are committed to getting you back in the game of life without those annoying facility fees.
Top of the 7th inning here, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and of course, video live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. The Dogs currently trailing Malcolm and the Clippers 7-3, 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for North Platte High School. Jake Kincaid still on the mound for North Platte High School, facing 7, 8, and 9 in the order. That's Chase Smith, Justin Wisniewski, and then Preston Kushera in this game. And this potential final inning for Malcolm's offense. Our half-inning breaks are brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. Check out Kevin McGann and the Fortify Group. His location, 621 South Dewey. Sweet beef for your farm, crop, auto, home, and commercial insurance. As well as Premier Toyota. Premier Toyota just south of I-80 in North Platte invites you to stop out, take a test drive here today. Premier Toyota, let's go places, as that first pitch from Kincaid is up high for ball number 1 to Chase Smith as out goes Dean McIntyre, already to have a conversation with Jake Kincaid after that first pitch. Smith today 0 for 2, walked in his last plate appearance, grounded out in his second, then struck out looking in his first. And Wisniewski on deck with Kuchera in the hole. As that next pitch from Kincaid is tight inside for a ball. It's ball 2, 2-0 the count with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. 7-3 lead for Malcolm. There's another pitcher warming up in the bullpen for the Clippers as Kincaid's pitch around the knees is there for strike number 1. 2-1 the count to Chase Smith. That's the next pitch on its way. Grounded hard down the third base side, foul, and now it's a 2-2 count from Kincaid to Chase Smith. As Smith looking for his first walk in today's ball game. Should be first hit in today's ball game. As Kincaid's 2-2. Fouled once more off, just barely getting the bat on it. There is Smith. But the Dogs have done a really good job in this second game, considering how, you'd say, sloppy game number 1 was. And oh boy, heaven, that one going out to center field as Caden Johnson misread it. And that might be a triple here for Chase Smith, but he'll hold up at second for a leadoff double from Smith. Johnson kind of got lost in the sky as he came inwards when the ball was traveling much further out than he expected. And because of that, Justin Wisniewski comes up to bat with the runner in scoring position at second base for Malcolm. Nobody out for the Clippers. Wisniewski 1 for 1, singled in his first plate appearance. Was hit by a pitch in his second, then walked in his third. As Smith at second, threatening to score. That fastball from Kincaid there for strike number 1. It's 0-1 the count now. As that one gets into center field for a base hit. They're going to hold up Wisniewski on over at third base. So a single as Chase Smith, correction, is going to make his way on over to third. So with nobody out, there's runners at the corners now for Preston Kuchera. He doubled in his last plate appearance, walked in his first 2 against Easton Geisler. Now has Wisniewski at first, Smith at third, and nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. As here comes the pitch from Jake Kincaid into Kuchera. That's tight inside on the off speed for ball 1. 1-0 the count. As Platte on over at first and third from Kincaid as he delivers. That one out of the reach there of Logan Hayes, so that'll score a run. So another base hit for Malcolm, second for Kuchera, and with that, runners now at first and second with nobody out for Logan McGreer. Grounded out in his last plate appearance, flew out in his third, got on with a bunt in his second, and then a home run, hit a home run in his first at-bat to lead the game off. As Wisniewski at second, and then Kuchera at first base. As time going to be called as Greeno making his way onto the grass, expecting potentially a bunt from maybe Logan McGreer. As the pitch, fastball tight inside for ball number 1 to McGreer. Tiedemann on deck with Mason Wisniewski in the hole for the Clippers. Top of the 7th inning, it's 8-3 now the lead. 8 runs on 10 hits. As that next pitch from Jake Kincaid, another one that's too low for ball 2. Kincaid at 70 pitches, 40 strikes, 30 balls in his relief effort for Easton Geisler. As here comes the 2-0 pitch. Hold foul by McGreer for strike 1. Two and one with nobody out. Kincaid staring down Dean McIntyre to get the sign. Likes what he sees, and now will deliver his 2-1 pitch. As McGreer lays down a bunt, but it pulls foul for strike number 2. So it's 2-2 the count now to Logan McGreer. With nobody out in this top of the 7th inning, an 8-3 lead for Malcolm. The Dogs are looking for a way to get the first out of this inning and start the process to get to their bottom of the 7th. Good hold by McGreer again, this time back to the netting, so we'll still stay at 2-2 the count. 8-3 lead as Kincaid now gets ready to two and two from Jake Kincaid with 2 runners on. The delivery. Hold once again, foul by McGreer. We're going to still keep it at 2-2. Once more after back-to-back foul balls from McGreer. It's Kincaid trying to find that final pitch to get the first out. As Kincaid now, long glance at second, the 2-2. It's outside ball 3, throw over to first, and now we have a pickle situation for Malcolm. As on over, Kushera looking to get tagged out and does so, and there's out number 1. So Wisniewski going to make his way on over to third. But unfortunately, on over at first with the out is Kushera. So there's 1 down now following the great pickoff from Dean McIntyre. Caught Kushera sleeping at first base. But it's a 3-2 count into Logan McGreer with 1 out. Infield on the grass. Here comes said 3-2 pitch. That's outside for ball 4, and McGreer gonna go on over to first base. So we got runners at the corners now for Cole Tideman, who's up to bat. 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking in his last plate appearance, grounded out in his third, and then started off his day with 2 straight walks. Has Mason Wisniewski on deck, and then Carson Frank in the hole for the side of Malcolm. With McGreer still a steal threat at first. As pitch going to be just outside for ball number 1. 1-0 the count now to Tideman. As Kincaid, who's been really good in this appearance, trying to find the next pitches. Runner goes on over to second. Throw to third will not be in time as a new person on over at as Jacoby Silas all over at third base with Stifler. It looks like going to the bullpen for some relief pitches. 2-0 the count now to Tideman. And make that 3-0 from Kincaid as that one's low. So Kincaid now staring down the barrel of loading the bases here. As Kincaid with his now 3-0 pitch in there for strike number 1. So 3-1 now with one out. Runners at second and third, being McGreer at second and Wisniewski at third. 8-3 lead for Malcolm. As the pitch. In there, strike two. Two great pitches from Jake Kincaid to now bring the count full. 3-2 with one out to Cole Tideman. With Wisniewski still on deck, ready to rock and roll. As Kincaid glancing at third. Here comes the 3-2. And it's going to pull McIntyre away from the bag, and there's ball four, and now the bases are loaded for Mason Wisniewski. He's 2 for 2 today as time's going to be called, and out comes head coach Ricky Holm to have a conversation with Jake Kincaid. With, again, one out here in this top of the seventh inning, the bases are loaded now for Wisniewski. Singled in his first plate appearance. Sacrifice flew out to center field in his second, walked in his third, and then singled in his fourth. As 8-3 lead for Malcolm, this top of the seventh. As the conversation gets done, and now up to bat comes Mason Wisniewski. In this game, 8-3. Our wicked fast scoreboard. On deck, Carson Frank with Garrett England in the hole. The bases are loaded, but there is a force out in any bag. As throw one over to first will not be actually going to pull the ball out of Greeno's hand, but strike number one to Wisniewski from Jake Kincaid on a fastball. As Kincaid will get the sign from McIntyre, and here comes the 0-1. It's down low for ball one. 1-1, one out. As Kincaid gets the sign he likes from McIntyre and deliver that pitch. That'll be in there for strike number two. 1-2 the count now with one out. Top of the seventh, the base is loaded for Malcolm, leading 8-3 on our wicked fast scoreboard. As Kincaid at 85 total pitches today, trying to dig deep and find the energy to finish this inning. Bouncing ball. That's going to be gloved up by Logan Hayes. He's going to find nowhere to throw, and with that, a run will come home on an infield single from Wisniewski. And the inning will continue for the side of the Clippers. 9-3 now. Carson Frank up to bat. Garrett England on deck. Brickson Meyer in the hole. As Kincaid will get set and deliver it in to McIntyre. Fouled off by Carson Frank. Strike number one. 0-1 the count, one out. Mason Wisniewski at first, Cole Tideman at second, Logan McGreer at third for Malcolm. Still one out here in this top of the seventh. 2 runs have already come across. It's now 9-3 for Malcolm. That's a good bounce back pitch from Jake Kincaid as it finds the zone against Carson Frank. 0-2. As here comes Carson. Here comes the pitch to Frank. That one drifting out to right field. Tommy Haggard has to go a long ways. It falls in for a base hit. And this inning will continue here for the side of Malcolm as they'll get another RBI single. As that's going to probably do it, though, for Jake Kincaid as out comes Coach Ricky Holm, and we're going to have a pitching change on the docket. As it looks like that's Jackson Peters, who will be coming in cold for Jake Kincaid, and then going out, Cade Songster to left field. Jackson Peters this season for North Platte High School, when he's been tasked with pitching, one of the best ERAs for the Dogs in his one appearance, 2.33 ERA. In his 3 innings of work, gave up 1 earned 1 run, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. Thank you to our Sports Zone sponsors for today's games. Dr. Chris Kroll and his crew at Kroll Clinic, located in the Westfield Shopping Center in North Platte, as well as McCook. 9-3 on our Wicked Fast score. Now 10-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard as another run comes across for Malcolm. 0-2 the count to Garrett England. As actually, correction, it's a fresh count into England as Frank got on with a hit, and Jackson Peters will be warming up for the Dogs in the bullpen. Actually, from the outfield. The batters he'll be facing: Garrett England, Brickson Meyer, and then Chase Smith. If the ball does get to the infield, it's any force out at any bag with the bases loaded. 10 runs on 12 hits and no errors for the side of Malcolm. 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error for North Platte High School as Peters trying to shut the door here on Malcolm and their continual offensive barrage, specifically here in the top of the 7th inning. The Dogs had worked it back to a relatively small margin. It was 7-3 going into this inning before 3 runs have come across, and it's now 10-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard as Jackson Peters will be taking over for Jake Kincaid, trying to get the last 2 outs of this top of the 7th. As now, here we go, ready to rock and roll for Garrett England. He's 1 for 4 today. A single, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out to his name. As Carson Frank at first, Mason Wisniewski at second, and Cole Tideman on over at third base. So, England, who is looking to start things off for continual barrage against the new pitcher, Jackson Peters. 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. 3 runs have come across. It's 10-3 the lead as the first pitch from Peters is at the knees for strike number 1. It's 0-1 the count now with 1 out. As continue onwards. In this inning, the 0-1 for Peters popped up, but will drift foul as it's actually going to be gloved. And now it won't be able to get the out. It's third is Silas over there with some good speed to get the second out on a pop fly from England. And just like that, there's now 2 down in this inning for Brickson Meyer. He's 0 for 2, is hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Walked in his second, struck out swinging in his third, and then flew out to pitcher Jake Kincaid in his 4th plate appearance. The pitch down low, ball number 1 to Meyer from Jackson Peters. Bases are still loaded here in the top of the 7th. 10-3 lead for Malcolm on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. That's Peters. Deep breath will now fire the 1-0. It's there for strike number 1. It's 1-1 now the count. With 2 down in the top of the 7th. Dogs trailing this entire game. Trying to find a late inning surge. 1-1. That's very down low for ball 2. 2-1 from Peters, who's had a very good season so far from the pitching aspect of things in his short appearances. As here's the 2-1 pitch from Jackson Peters. Well, that one is smashed out to left field, and getting up underneath it, Stir goes over his head. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and probably 3 runs. That's a bases clearing double, as Songster looked like he was in position, but it just soared over his head. And now 13-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard, with up to bat being Chase Smith, who doubled in his last plate appearance for Malcolm. As just like last game, the runs pour in here on the top of the last inning. 8 came across for Norfolk last game, and 6 so far in this one, as the fastball from Peters into Chase Smith is there for strike number 1. Double from Smith into center field his last plate appearance. Walk in his third, ground out in his second, then struck out looking in his first against Easton Geisler. The 0-1. That's popped into the air. Greeno not going to get there, and that is strike number 2 on a foul ball. 0-2 the count now. So 0-2 with 2 down. Runner at second base being Brixton Meyer. That's Peters with his 0-2 pitch. Fastball pulls Dean McIntyre away from the bag. 1-2 the count now. On deck, Justin Wisniewski, and then Preston Kushera in the hole for Malcolm. The 1-2. Pulled up into right field. Here comes Tommy Haggart, and he gets there and gloves it. And that's how this inning does come to an end, but not before 6 runs come across for Malcolm. We're now going to the bottom of the 7th. Dogs trailing in this one 13-3. We come back, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
Starting something new can be challenging. At Mid-Plains Community College, we see what it takes to build your dreams, and through our educational instruction, make them a reality. Whether you are learning a new skill that can take your professional career to the next level, or you're looking to change your life through our educational offerings, you can build a successful future. Enroll today and begin transforming your future at mpcc.edu. That's mpcc.edu.
North Platte and beyond, your home just got safer and more comfortable. Great Plains Health Home Care Equipment has what you need, from wheelchairs to lift chairs, mobility scooters, and more. Conveniently located at 220 West Leota Street, Suite 1, right next to Great Plains Urgent Care. Their expert team is ready to help you move with ease. Call 308-568-8510 today and take the first step toward comfort, independence, and a better quality of life.
The Bulldogs play here on FM 98.1 and 1410 AM, KOOQ AM, North Platte. Enjoy a great home-cooked breakfast from Merrick's Ranch House, Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dine in, order online at merricksnp.com, use DoorDash, or call 532-8200 for carryout.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our Devonar live stream, NorthPlattePost.com. 13-3 in the last half inning of play for both teams, is Mason Ziegler now on the mound to close this game out for Malcolm. 13-3, 13 runs on 13 hits, no errors for Malcolm, compared to North Platte High School, who sits at 3 hits, 3 runs, and 1 error. Timeouts brought to you, and half-inning breaks brought to you in part by Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. You can check out Kevin McGann and the Fortifying Group. His location, 621 South Dewey, for all your farm, crop, auto, home, and commercial insurance, as well as Dr. Chris Kroll and his crew at Kroll Clinic, located at the Westfield Shopping Center in North Platte and McCook. They're helping you to get back into your sporting event faster as you recover from injuries. And the best part? No facility fees. The 2-2 pitch from Mason Ziegler to Brody Pittner, but Pittner will call for time to reevaluate. 2-2 as Ziegler now delivers. Ooh, and it's pulled outside for ball number 3, correction, from Mason Ziegler. On deck, Jackson Peters with Caden Johnson in the hole here in this bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch fouled off by Pittner. So we'll still stay at 3-2. Next up for the Dogs, they'll be back in action on Monday against Grand Island in a single game at 4 o'clock. We'll have our quick stop pregame at 3:50 as that one's pulled into left field for the second hit today from Brody Pittner. As now up to bat comes Jackson Peters in the bottom of the 7th. Dogs trailing by 10, 13-3. Peters today singled in his last plate appearance. Walked in his first and flew out to center in his first plate appearance. He's walked in his second. He's 1 for 2 today as Jackson Peters. Caden Johnson on deck with Dean McIntyre in the hole as that fastball from Ziegler is there for strike number 1. It's 0-1. Runner at first being Brody Pittner. Ziegler's 0-1 pitch. Back-to-back in the zone. For Ziegler, it's 0-2 now as he starts to get locked in. 0-2 the kick, and here comes Ziegler's pitch. That's going to be foul tipped off by Jackson Peters, so we'll still stay at 0-2 the count. With Brody Pittner at first base. 0-2, nobody out. One runner on, bottom of the 7th inning. Ziegler delivers. Up into the air it goes, but will be pulled into the parking lot. Foul for another 0-2 pitch. 13-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. If you download the Mike Phillips 66 app yet, if not, you are missing out on so much savings with Wicked Fast. Here comes said 0-2. Down low for ball number 1 as it sneaks away from Kashera just a little bit. So 1-2 now. Pittner standing still at first base. 2 hits today for Brody Pittner. All coming in this second game. Again, he's starting for Ty Hanneborg after Hanneborg was ejected in game 1. 1-2 is smashed out to left field, and that's going to be getting under it and gloving it for the first out. Some good contact from Peters. So down goes Jackson Peters for out number 1. Big power from Peters, but couldn't completely get it far enough away. And now there's 1 down for Caden Johnson, who's 0 for 3 in the second game after a great first game, is yet to find any traction in this game. Flew out in his last plate appearance, grounded out in his second, then struck out swinging in his first against Frank. The 0-1, it's down low for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. 1 out. Brody Pittner at first. 1 down. This bottom of the 7th inning. Here comes the 1-1 from Ziegler to center fielder Caden Johnson. Fouling it back is Joni for second strike. 1-2 with 1 out. As home plate umpire gets a fresh set of baseballs, and 1-2 to Caden Johnson. Dean McIntyre on deck with Landon Greeno in the hole for North Platte High. Ziegler glancing to Pittner at first. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and down goes Caden Johnson, swinging. Finish his second game 0 for, and that now brings up Dean McIntyre. He reached on a single in his second at-bat, then unfortunately was hit by a pitch in his third off the hip, and struck out looking in his first. 1 for 2. Brody Pittner still on over at first base. As Ziegler's first pitch is down low for ball number 1. 1-0 the count with 2 down. As here comes the 1-0 pitch from side of, I was going to say Ziegler, but he'll throw it on over to first as Pittner gets back on a pickoff attempt. 13-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. 13 runs, 13 hits, No errors for Malcolm. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Dogs. Next pitch, fastball, too high from Ziegler. Ball 2 to McIntyre. Greeno on deck with Logan Hayes in the hole for North Platte High. As here comes the 2-0. Makes that 3-0 to McIntyre. So some good patience from Dean in this at-bat to force Seeger to get one into the zone as he has struggled to do so. As the 3-0. It's 4-0 as that's up high, and 4-pitch walk for Dean McIntyre puts runners on the base pads at second and first for North Platte with 2 down, as Tyler Townsend will not be courtesy running here for Dean McIntyre. Is actually Douglas Titman now will go over to first to be courtesy running for McIntyre, as Landon Greeno's up to bat. 2 walks today in his last 2 plate appearances, but did strike out swinging in his first. 13-3 on our Wicked Fast scoreboard. Pitch is in there from Ziegler for strike number 1. 0-1 now the count to the first baseman, Landon Greeno, who's trying to keep this game alive for North Platte High. 2 runners on, Pittner at second. Titman on over at first for ball number 1 of the at-bat. It's Landon Greeno. 1-1 with 2 down. Pitch. Old to the netting for strike 2. 1-2 with 2 down. As Mason Ziegler trying to close it out for Malcolm to pick up their 10th win this season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball in there, strike 3, and down goes Greeno looking. And that is how this game will come to an end. North Platte High School, unfortunately, will have this game and this triangular come to an end with 2 straight losses as they fall to Malcolm 13-3, and will now fall to 3-6 on the season. A much better game from the Bulldogs, excluding that top of the 7th inning when 6 runs did come across for the Clippers. But, overall for North Platte High School, after a tough first
Get ready, North Platte. Brigham's Tap Room has a brand new menu you do not want to miss. Catch all of the action on game day with your favorite teams. The Huskers, the North Platte Bulldogs, and the St. Pat's Irish on their big screens. Pair the excitement with our amazing drinks, and you've got the ultimate game day experience. Don't forget to enjoy axe throwing with your friends. Brigham's Tap Room, where great food, great drinks, and great times come together. Brigham's Tap Room, 1100 South Jefferson Street, North Platte.
They gave up those runs against Norfolk. Now trying to bounce back against a very, very strong team that is Malcolm and the Clippers. And just unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they could not fully come through with the game. But I think in the grand scheme of things, you got to take the little battles and the little victories more in their favor, because team expectation-wise, of course, still going to be very high, but much different than last year's team, as, of course, you're down Easton Jones. Mason Stein also out with that labrum injury for the rest of the season. So a lot of people you thought in your pitching rotation who would be key figures not playing at the moment, and you got a lot of young faces that are on the mound for sometimes even the first time in their varsity career. So you got to take the small victories, and maybe while it holistically wasn't the best game for the Dogs in not only game 1, but also game 2, you at least got to be happy with some of the things coming the way of North Platte High School as they fall here to Malcolm in this game 13-3. Step aside and we'll take a break. When we come back, quick stop post-game show right here on FM 98.1. AM 1410 to live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
A car is not always the most pleasant experience, but it doesn't have to be that way. A quarter of a century. That's how long Premier Toyota has been in the North Platte community, delivering a car buying experience that's friendly, easy, and fun. Check PremierAutoplex.com first, then stop by 2600 South Willow Street in North Platte. See Premier Toyota for your next new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle. Premier Toyota at PremierAutoplex.com, just south of I-80, North Platte.
Try Runza's lemonade refreshers, powered by plant-based natural caffeine. And they come in 4 delicious flavors: pomegranate passion, mango mojo, prickly pear, and watermelon wild. Why do you keep doing that?
These refreshers are just so refreshing.
But you don't have to make that noise every time. Try Runza's lemonade refreshers. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
Quick Stop post-game wrap-up. Quick Stop never closes. With 24 locations open 24 hours a day.
Welcome back here to Billwood Field, FM 98.1, AM 1410. I'm joined by Coach Ricky Holm. First time I've gotten to see you this season.
Been a while.
And you're telling me, Chief, it's felt like an age since I last saw you out in the field. And hoping you were looking probably to come away with at least one victory in this triangular today. And you had an opportunity in that first game against Norfolk. And to be honest, I'd say a good opportunity as well against this Malcolm squad before that last inning came about. But I think the real story in game number 1 just came down to the self-inflicted wounds that you guys really just put on yourself. And we had a little small conversation at the end of that game where it talked about that if those errors didn't come the way that they did, that game probably should have been easily put into your pocket.
Yeah, that's one thing we've been struggling with this year is limiting that one, big inning where we give up a bunch of runs and just making some simple mistakes that, a team with this experience didn't really foresee making some of the mistakes. So I'm going to take ownership of that as a coach and make sure that, some of these things, whether it's just, not walking a leadoff guy after we score a bunch of runs or selling an arm fake so we can get a backside out or sliding into every base, not missing signs. Little things like that, majority of our guys have played big innings and big games here the last year, 2, 3 years. So, put that on myself as a coach and kind of giving them a little too much credit and just going to have to go back to the drawing board and making sure we do the little things correct.
And of course, we talk about those little things, and there's been times, whether it be through the national season, the last couple of years, or even last year, where those bit you in the end. Do you think maybe a good week or so of hard practice can iron that out? Do you maybe think that it's just got to be a game-to-game experience where they keep focused in on that?
Well, if I had those types of answers for you, I'd probably be coaching at some World Series or something. But obviously, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're not going to quit. We know that nobody's going to feel sorry for us. And, sitting here at 3-6, and, that was the easiest part of our schedule. This week we got GI on Monday for 1, and then we got Creighton Prep for 2 on Friday.
And then
They're
GI
both
again for a doubleheader after that.
and they're both, and then the day after that doubleheader with GI, we have Kearney and North Star. So definitely not going to get any easier. I knew going into the season that, pitching was going to be kind of our big question mark. I mean, Jack Polk had thrown every big game for the last 3 years, and so pitching was going to be the biggest question mark for us going in, and then to lose Easton Jones at the beginning of the year and hoping to get him back at the end of the year before Legion. But obviously good for those guys that are getting those opportunities that otherwise wouldn't have. But it's just one of those things where, we just can't stay away from that big inning. That first game versus Norfolk, go up 10-5, scored 5 runs and 3 runs, and then we walked the first guy, and then, we timely hit, timely air, just plays that normally we do make or that we normally don't make those types of mistakes we've been making. So, if I had all the answers as to why we're doing that, that definitely would have been figured out. But I know that we got a good group of kids that are willing to work hard and willing to do, they believe, we know that we're better than we've been playing now. So the thing that I've kind of told them is, obviously I don't like to fail, but if it's short-term failure and it leads to long-term success, I'm willing to learn some of those more painful lessons as long as it pays off in the end. So just going to get back to work here this week. and try to put our best foot forward.
And a great example of that short-term failure, you took at last year's Legion team at one point going into Nebraska Land days. It was looking kind of iffy if you guys can, even vie for a shot at a state berth, and went on the craziest tear of probably your career as a head coach there. So you've seen how maybe even taking those little lumps early can help in the long term, and you can probably see it today with the Bats starting to wake up a little bit more than they have over the last couple of games. You put up 11 versus Norfolk today, even though they might not be the best record-wise. A pretty good ERA for that staff. And then even against Malcolm, you put up 3, but in the later half, you're starting to finally crack through some of the code that they had and at least apply some pressure that they probably weren't expecting from your group.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. In the end, I'd rather be learning lessons while we're winning than we're losing. So that's not obviously my first choice. But are starting to see some, promising things. Landon Greeno had 5 RBIs in the first game. Dean had a couple of hits today. Ran the bases well. I think Tommy Haggart had 4 in the first game. Caden Jonasson had 3. Peters had a couple. I mean, we're running the bases really well. That's the one thing that I will give us credit for. We're stealing probably at a higher clip than we normally do in Legion. But that's also the frustrating part about it when you're averaging close to 10 free 90s a game, and still struggling to score runs. So it's all about just kind of putting those innings together where, we get a couple base hits, get a couple stolen bases, couple walks, take advantage of some errors. But like I said, I've been around this group enough to know that what they're capable of. They've been around me enough to know that I believe in them. So it's just one of those things that, like I said, as long as it leads to some long-term success, but would also, like to go out there against GI on Monday and play a good game.
Yeah, that's
So
what you'd love to see and complete the upset. And of course, Jake Kincaid in the second game. Of course, a lot of names that you haven't been prominent people you've heard, whether it be the varsity or the Legion varsity squad, really showing out today. Tommy Haggard coming in for relief of Tyler Townsend in game number 1. Brody Pittner getting a surprise spot start with Ty Handelborg being ejected in the top of the 7th last game, and then Kincaid coming in for another relief appearance and really battening the hatches down. You gotta love that even with the strong squad of experience that you have, these young guys who haven't, well, of course, Brody Pittner being a senior, but these guys that haven't really seen much experience at the varsity level are already showing the signs that you like to see early on.
yeah, big for Jake Kincaid. I mean, this is, I think he's had 4 outings, and this is the second one where I thought he's been really, really good. Hasn't done a lot of pitching, even when he played travel ball before he got to high school, didn't do a ton of pitching. But, with most of our bullpen guys being starters in the field, he's been kind of our de facto first guy out of the pen just because he's, kind of the main guy that out of those guys sitting on the bench. But yeah, I was really happy for him. He came in and pounded the zone. Brody Pittner had probably the best at bats in the second game. He had 1 base hit, had another base hit robbed when he hit Cade Songster, and then also had a nice line drive to center. So there's definitely some good things that come from getting those guys opportunities that normally wouldn't have got them. And as a coach, you have a plan and you think. I think this guy's going to give us the best chance to win, or I think this guy's going to throw the most strikes. But, it also gets to a certain point where, if we're not having success, and those guys aren't having success, and even though I may think you're better than a guy that may be coming in for you, at some point we got to make those changes. And that's what I tell the guys. It's, you never know how many opportunities you're going to get. You got to capitalize on them when you do. And, even if you do capitalize on it, if you're playing behind someone that's hitting 500, it's going to be tough to kind of take those innings. But just happy for the guys that have came in, even Jacoby Silos there coming in at third base for Connor Stifler in the last inning and making a nice play at third. Later on down the road, those guys, these young bucks, and, I try to keep it into perspective, but if you're looking at our starting lineup, our left side of the infield is sophomores. We got freshmen and sophomores in the outfield. We got a junior at second normally. So we have a pretty solid senior class, but also pretty young around the diamond. So just expecting that, with their type of maturation process and where they're at, that hopefully we're only going to get better.
That's what you love to hear. And of course, you'll face the grindstone the hardest way possible, right into the fire. Got Grand Island. It's only a 1-gamer instead of gamer on a Monday, so a little short turnaround. Really take me through what your mind's gonna be, what this team needs to do to come away with a win against the Grand Island squad that's in the top 5, and as always, is always putting up some good numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to surprise them. They're not going to surprise us. We know what we do. They know it. I mean, they're hitting about 400 as a team, and they have 4 stolen bases. We're hitting 200 as a team and have 80 stolen bases. So we do it in different ways, but. We respect each other. We know that they could go and boat race us whenever, which they've done. We know that we can go and beat them, which we've done. So Cade Freeze, who's been our best pitcher this year, he's 2-0. He's got a 0 ERA. And this last 8 months to a year, he's really been putting in the hard work, whether it's been in the weight room, mechanics, long toss, bands, weighted balls. I've really seen a shift in his work ethic here the last year. So really proud of him. And it's one of those things that gets to a point, well, it's like, well, we're going to find out whether you're real gold or you're fool's gold. And not to say whether he goes out there versus GI and he has a bad game that, now you're done, but it's at some point I need that, and I need to find out, because we're going to see GI 3 times in high school. We're going to see him at least 2 times, probably 3 or 4 times in Legion. So I kind of got to figure out, who's going to be able to compete against him, who's going to be able to get some outs. So really looking forward to the opportunity for him and hoping he takes the bull by the horns.
And it's, again, a good opportunity to find the next Jack Polk who will be that consistent man that you can throw in any of those big games. And same thing with Easton Jones, who's currently out. So excited to see you up in Grand Island. And coach, as always, can't wait to see what you can do.
Thank you, Pax.
When you get out there, that's head coach Ricky Holmes. He joins us, as always, here on our Quick Stop post-game show. Dogs lose both games of this triangular to Norfolk and Malcolm, 13-11 in game number 1. And then 13-3 in game number 2 to Malcolm. We'll see you on Monday with some more baseball action here, FM 98.1, AM 1410, and live streaming on our WB's Fun Center live stream at NorthPlattePost.com.
For the ultimate fun day out, start at Brinkham's Tap Room with a brand new menu you won't want to miss. Catch all of the action on game day with your favorite teams on our big screens. Pair the excitement with amazing drinks, and you've got the ultimate game day experience at Brigham's Tap Room. And when you're ready for more fun, head over to Wild Bill's Fun Center for our action-packed arcade.